Gang of misfits and dope addicts are here.
Oh, man. You know, I thought for sure that you would start the show with a song because, you know, it's Amanda Palmer's birthday. It's 45 years old. The Dresden Dolls. So I thought, I thought for sure we'd play a Dresden Dolls song.
That would have been fine.
But that was perfect. That was perfect because that's a perfect song because Demi Lovato's fans have been left speechless with her low-cut white negligee. Perfect song for that. Rubber Band Man by the Spit. Why did you? Rubber Band. I love
you
that
don't
song.
know, Bill.
No.
You don't
Because
know.
I don't.
if you're like the rest of the nation,
You're the only person that doesn't know why.
Or maybe I know.
That's
Maybe I know and I'm not thinking.
you didn't go see Infinity War,
No, I didn't.
and that's a song when the Guardians show up, that's what they're listening to.
In Infinity War.
And I love that they all
Perfect.
know the words.
Oh, yeah.
They were all singing along.
That song, by the way, it makes it. What the hell are they talking about in that song?
It's based on a real guy.
There's a real rubber
The
band.
rubber
There is a
band.
real rubber band man. At least that's what Casey Kasem told me.
Hand me down my walking cane. I love.
No, he says, get dressed up. We're going to go see the rubber band man. And
Yeah.
they go see the rubber band man. Yeah.
Got to get your.
He's performing with the rubber band.
That's a great song.
They know the words because by the time this movie happens,
Yeah.
it's been many years.
They've
And
been
they've
here
got the Zune
over and over
with only like, it'll hold up to 300 songs. So they know them all by now.
That's because how many centuries is that into the future or?
Because see, Groot at the end of Guardians 2 is adolescent Groot, and we get teenage Groot. In this
which is
movie.
hilarious.
Anyway,
Which is hilarious.
Okay.
yes.
I went to see a different movie. Well, we'll talk about that coming up. I can't let this go before we take your check-ins. And by the way, maybe I don't know, with check-ins, I think if you could just sum up in one word,
One word.
one sentence, how you felt about that song, Rubber Band Man.
Okay.
How did you feel? What one sentence that would sum up how you feel about that song?
It could be one word too, if you want.
Could be
you
one
don't have
word.
to make a whole sentence if one word will explain. it.
Sure, that'll be check-ins today. 877-602-9696. Your thoughts on the Spinners' Rubber Band Man.
And you might win tickets to see Bleachers, depending on how well
The
we
band,
like.
Bleachers. Not
Yeah.
we're not going to take you to a stadium and say, look at that.
No, that wouldn't be a prize.
For some, it might. It's for some, But anyway, yeah, that's the check-ins, 877-602-9696. Just call. We need to, it's our way to just sort of contact you and feel so that what you're doing out there and, get the vibration of the day. So how do you feel about that song, the Rubber Band Man? But I can't let this,
What?
I don't get it. I don't get why there are people on the radio who are still on the radio. When you do a story about a hit and run in Brigham City, and then your host, the woman does the story about the hit and run in Brigham City, and then your host, so they're talking about this guy who gets hit, and I think he was killed. The side of the road. Is he still alive? Okay, he's in the hospital. I just was skimming through the story a second ago. And your co-host, the man, says, wow, talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep. He's an idiot.
You leave your cell phone behind, and then you're walking there where there's, heavy machinery and cars.
He said that, and then in the next breath, talking about something different, he said, we always have a lot of fun up at Primary Children's Hospital.
Yeah, always have a lot of fun up there.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no,
That's not how
we
you
don't.
talk about
No,
being
no,
up
we
at
don't. No,
Primary Children's.
No,
and
we don't.
raising
We don't.
money.
No, we don't. We don't talk about raising money that way. That's yeah. Wrong place, wrong time.
Are you trying to be funny?
Leave your cell phone behind and.
Okay. Let's get this over with.
Shall we?
Let's get to the break.
Okay, we'll take
so that we can then take the check-ins at 877-602-9696. You're going to need your Big O tires today.
Yes, indeed. It's raining. It was lovely this morning when I got up.
Had a lot of standing water on the freeway, though.
Yeah, rain is lovely, and Big O Tires is also lovely. And right now you can save $150 off a set of 4 Big O brand tires. Just stop by any one of the, how many other, 39?
Yeah, I was going to say it's in the 30s.
I mean, I just go to that one on Highland. That's the one I usually go to.
Locally owned and operated Big O Tire stores now through May 20th. Get up to $150 off a set of 4 Big O brand tires. Your one-stop shop, for everything that your car might need. They can service your car. They do alignments and brakes and shocks and all of that. And summer's almost here, so is your car ready for a road trip? It is if you put Big O tires on it. Come in for their multi-point vehicle inspection for $39.95. Big O Tires offers financing tailored to you, offering no credit needed financing. Big O has locations in Layton, Orem, Provo. I go to the one on 2nd East and South Temple. Big O Tires, it's the team you trust.
X96 and I'm Corey O'Brien. Tonight on...
It's not a big deal, but I guarantee you, Gina, if today were the day you were going to court at 8:15, you would not have come to work.
It's true.
You wouldn't have come to work.
That's true.
I would too.
I don't think you would have.
You would have said, I got court. And we'd say, when? And you'd go, I don't know. And that'd be it,
I'm not sure.
You wouldn't come in.
Court sometime.
I got court sometime. I don't know.
On another topic, a totally different topic. Yesterday, we went to lunch at the Lone Star Steakhouse and Sugar House with the staff, and Gina was there with her baby, and I was the little Jonesy, who's almost a year old and just as cute as anything, and I was the only person at the table who made the baby cry.
Well, she's my daughter. She knows you make me cry
Everybody
day.
else is going and doobie playing with the baby and
Again,
being cute
Gina,
with the baby.
that doesn't work because I didn't make her cry.
That's true.
And I've made you cry.
That's true.
On the radio.
I went and sat down by the baby to just kind of bonding. Hi, it's your Uncle Bill. Cried.
Even Artie Fufkin didn't make her cry.
No, I thought for sure Artie was going to make her cry.
Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Hello, baby.
He did
Hello,
that for like
baby.
10 minutes.
And kept waving his hand.
He said, "Don't eat trans fats or you'll end up looking like me."
Even Artie didn't make the baby cry.
Artie could have picked the baby up and placed the baby in his mouth, and the baby wouldn't have cried. The whole head, and the baby wouldn't have cried.
I think it's your facial hair. Might make you look scary. I'm just guessing.
Was I the only one there with facial hair?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Heather. But just kidding, Heather.
She hasn't experienced a lot of facial hair. Maybe.
I don't know.
And then I brought her over to you later. Like, it's safe with mommy holding you kind of thing.
She
and I
didn't-
gave Bill a hug. See, he's nice.
She didn't cry then, but she was barely holding it.
She had the face.
Barely holding it together.
She had the.
You could see
face.
she was just like any second she was just gonna.
It was the face.
We were there for 2 hours, and she was good the whole time we were there. I didn't have to get up and walk around with her once.
Are you surprised?
No, but
Are you bragging?
yes.
Okay. So she's like that all the time. You're just bragging.
Yes.
Yeah. And she didn't do that once, does she usually? Well, no. Well, wow.
She ate all kinds of things for lunch I didn't eat. She had tomatoes. She ate the tomatoes off my salad and my onions.
Did not.
And then, she ate all
She
my
ate-
onions, and then I picked onions.
She really ate
oh,
onions?
yeah. Loves onions. And I said, Carrie, you can eat that onion?
Here.
But she doesn't have teeth.
She has 4.
That onion even had blue cheese dressing on it,
Yeah.
Gina, which is something
That's
else
what
that you
I'm
wouldn't
saying.
eat.
Well, now that says a lot to me, and because when I sat down by the baby, and maybe this is why she cried. I went, "Hi, honey. God, your breath stinks." That's why she cried. That's why she cried.
96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
All right.
Time to officially begin the Radio from Hell program.
Yeah.
And the moon, just waiting, you know.
Yeah, nothing here.
The moon, look at it. It's full. If you could see
Oh,
it.
was I supposed to play the moon song?
99, yeah, I just realized that.
man.
99.6% of full, and it's already waning. It's going away. So it is still silvery to the tune of 99.6%. But the moon will set today at 7:12 a.m.
Everybody look at the moon. Everybody seeing the moon. The moon is white, is milky white. Everybody look at the moon. Oh. I did a song.
It's so cloudy you can't see it.
And today is Monday. It's the 30th day of April in the year of our Lord 2018. And this is North America's most querulous radio broadcast. It's the Radio from Hell show, starring the lords of morning radio, the oligarchs of the air, Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, Gina Barberi. Senior executive producer of the Radio from Hell show is Comrade Stedman. Dylan Allred is producing video for the show. You can see it at x96.com/live. And Comrade Festus is here helping out as well. Thank you, comrades. So we'll take your check-ins.
And maybe someone will have the perfect word or sentence to describe their feelings of the opening number, Rubber Band Man. And maybe they will win bleachers tickets. They're coming to In the Venue Tuesday, May 29th. Tickets are on sale at ticketfly.com.
Well, this will be very, very, very easy to give the tickets away because so far, Alex the engineer is the only one who has called.
Really?
877-602-9696. And if people don't get on the stick and call,
then
get on
then
the
what?
stick. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Get on the stick, will you?
Yeah, what is the origin of that?
I don't know. I'll have to look that up. If they don't get on the stick and call right now, 877-602-9696, we may just cancel this feature completely.
All right. Well, we'll start with Alex, the engineer.
Alex.
Hello.
Alex, one word or sentence to describe your feelings about Spinner's Rubber Band Man.
With respect to the song and the movie, no spoilers, energized, saddened, and scared for the future.
I didn't catch
Energized, saddened.
Oh, saddened.
And scared for the future.
And scared for the future.
I'm optimistic for the future because this is only part one. Always remember that.
And I like the future, Alex, because I'm in it.
I came in ranting and raving, and Carrie said, "Go read the comic." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
No, I said go read a comic.
Go read any comic.
Oh, you were ranting and raving about the movie.
Yeah. Get on the stick means
Yes.
dates from the early 1900s, comes from the idea of getting a car going by using a gear shift or stick to
stick shift.
get it going.
Okay.
There
I
you
thought that was what it was, but I thought it can't be that simple.
Let's get on the stick.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Good morning.
Kevin, Rubber Band Man. What say you?
Decent.
Decent.
All right.
Decent. Okay.
Decent. This is decent.
All right.
All right.
It's honest. He's being honest.
Now, you know, Kevin is now the only one on the phone. So I think
Should we
maybe.
give Kevin the bleachers tickets?
Well, or we won't give them away if we don't.
Kevin, do you want the bleachers tickets?
Hey, I'll take those.
Okay.
Decent.
I happen to like the bleachers.
Okay,
right.
well, hang on.
Well,
Richie will get your information
Kevin,
from you.
it's bleachers. All right? Not just not the bleachers. It's bleachers.
I happen to like the band Bleachers.
There you
There you
go.
go.
All
Thanks.
right. Hang on.
Thanks,
We'll
Kevin.
get your information.
So maybe this feature is about at an end.
Well, I think it could be because it's raining this morning.
Yeah, no one's called 877-602-9696 to check in. There are some text check-ins.
Steph says, Smoky Eye Steph checking in. Damn you, liberal media elite, which I think we'll probably be talking about that in the news.
What?
Owl the Geek checking in. Tim the Tree Guy. Brock from the Uinta Basin checking in. My weekend was awesome. Nothing like two buddies hanging out and crying over your favorite superhero movie.
Yeah, but you were in the Uinta Basin.
Yeah, that's true. Night Guard checking in. Nurse Jen checking in. I'm back after being out for 3 weeks for back surgery. Wow.
Oh, boy, can I sympathize with that. Or empathize, I guess I should say.
Stacy from Orem checking in. Shua checking in.
Shua.
Hoping the rain lets up soon because I'm bicycling in it. Whoa.
So that can be pleasant sometimes, though.
I suppose.
Biking in the rain.
Meg, the manager.
Nick is on the line, Carrie.
Oh, we have Nick.
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 Hey guys, good morning.
Hi, Nick. Did you hear the song this morning, The Spinners?
Yeah, I did.
Were you familiar with it?
Brought back memories.
Brought back memories.
It brought back memories. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Well, Nick, thanks. Thanks for checking in.
All right.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Listen, I don't have any particular memories associated with that song.
I do now because of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I
now.
didn't have any before, but
I have one. Wonder if I should tell it.
Now you're grinning. Go ahead.
I think Dan's old enough to get over this.
Okay.
My friend Dan in grade school, we caught him picking his nose one day.
Nose picker.
And so he became Booger Man Dan.
You were doing parody songs even back then.
Booger Man Dan.
Booger Man.
You did that.
I did. That was terrible.
But he was a friend.
He was a friend.
Okay.
Pick a load.
All right. New York wine guy checking in. Let's see. Moe's checking in, wanting to tell my wife I love her.
Well, that's nice.
That's great. Why don't you tell her?
Maybe she's not listening.
Twin dad checking in. Totally Ashley. Jake in the basement.
All our regulars are here.
Well, I think we only need to try about
30%. Is that too low?
A little low. 50.
All right.
We go 50.
I'll try.
You know, you could say 30% because right now at Black Velvet Boutique.
Oh.
That's really good. You could have checked traffic first, but go ahead.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Right now, 30% off lingerie at Black Velvet Boutique. But you got to say, hey, Radio from Hell said 30% off lingerie at Black Velvet Boutique. 293 South State Street in Clearfield, or you can go to blackvelvetboutique.com. They're a locally owned and operated sexual wellness resource. When it comes to your sexual partner, like with any healthy relationship, communication is key. But don't forget to share your needs too. Being confident in the bedroom is sexy, and knowledge helps you get your most confident, sexy self. Black Velvet Boutique. Their inventory reduction time is happening now, so they have sales throughout the store. But the big one we want to tell you about, 30% off lingerie. Mention Radio from Hell. Open 7 days a week, 293 South State Street in Clearfield, or go to blackvelvetboutique.com.
All right.
Reminds me of an old joke. It was something about how did I forget the setup? But it's like ladies' underwear half off.
Ha 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 ha. Let's see. It is raining and snowing in places, believe it or not, and that's causing some issues on the roads. Crash I-15 near 114 South, both northbound and southbound. Cars on the southbound side are on the right shoulder, and the northbound side has the shoulder blocked. It's snowing up at Parley Summit. It's not sticking to the roads, but it is slowing down speeds and is slushy. It was a little too warm on the roads for it to stick, but it is causing some issues. And if you see something, you can text it to us, 33986.
All right. After this, we got big boy news and opinioendo and sports with Amy Donaldson. Stand by.
X96 is Utah's original alternative with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding coming up right after Radio from Hell.
I could talk about this now because my wife's Christmas party is over, the one that she has at work. And one of the deals is they do a white elephant every year, and it's an exchange. And then they do that. I don't know what's it called, where it's like, I'll take that, and you have this.
You do like
a big swap.
Yeah, like
What's
a
it called?
like a barter. I don't know the
something
technical
swap.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she went on an Etsy site and she sent for these crocheted coasters.
Cool.
That was the gift she was taking to the party.
And the reason they were funny is they were shaped like cats' butts. So they were round, and there was a
little butthole
in the middle, and then there were little legs and a tail.
Okay.
So someone had crocheted those.
Okay.
So she sent for 4 of those.
Okay.
Because it was like an Etsy thing, the packaging that they send is not going to be professional.
Right.
So just essentially the person stuffed them in an envelope and put them in the mail.
In fact, the cheaper you can send them, then maybe you can keep a little bit of the postage on your end. Sure.
Exactly. So we get the envelope, and it's in this plastic bag. We Care.
We Care.
From the Postal Service. Now, I like the Postal Service. I like our post office. I like our postal workers.
I think the U.S. mail is great.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
This envelope was soaked in some kind of chemical that smelled like paint thinner.
Huh.
But I like the fact that above the We Care, someone had taken a label maker and made the little label that says leaked on.
So there was an accident.
So there was some sort of accident with a chemical that they were mailing that smelled like turpentine.
And they put it in that plastic bag.
Yeah.
And then
So were the cat butt coasters ruined?
Surprisingly, no. She was able to get them cleaned up, and they had a slight smell of paint thinner or turpentine or whatever.
Well, that just made them better.
Yeah.
But anytime I mail a package, they ask me, "Is this flammable?" Or clearly the liquid that leaked on these cat butt coasters was flammable. Some people get to mail flammable stuff, and some do not.
Or they lie.
Or they lie.
Yeah.
But I just.
Well, that's nice. So the Postal Service rescued the.
Well, they just put it in that bag.
Oh, they put the whole envelope.
Yeah,
in
they put the whole envelope in the bag.
So it wouldn't get on other things.
So it wouldn't get on other things,
Because we care.
Sorry about your cat butt coasters. Gag gift.
Yeah.
But the other, whatever it is not going to get leaked on because we got it taken care of.
What's the fine print underneath all of that?
We sincerely regret the damage to your mail during the handling by the Postal Service. We hope this incident did not inconvenience you.
Okay.
We realize that your mail is important to you and that you have every right to expect it to be delivered in good condition.
It's not a personal message. It doesn't go into. We know these valuable cat butt coasters.
It's sincerely your plant manager, processing and distribution.
Oh, I see.
From Hell on X96.
All right, 6:32 right now. Time for Big Boy News and Opinioendo, brought to you by.
Shopping for a home? Save money with a Power Rate mortgage from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Check out the great rates at ssfcu.org/mortgage. Equal housing lender. Membership eligibility required. Loan subject to credit approval.
Well, I want to start with just quickly with Tom Brokaw. Because we had news last week, I think on Friday, right before the weekend, this woman was accusing Tom Brokaw of sexual harassment.
Yes.
Unwanted sexual advances some years ago by Tom Brokaw. Seemed pretty strange, seemed hard to believe because of how much we all like Tom Brokaw, or most of us do. And so so it seemed odd and out of character, but you can't discount these things, and she seems perfectly credible. And if you watch her being interviewed, and she was a respected journalist, fairly well known, and so you got to lend some credence to what she says. But more than 60 women in the media, including Rachel Maddow, Andrea Mitchell, other prominent women in media, both in and out of journalism, have signed a letter in support of Tom Brokaw.
Mm-hmm.
2 women accused him of sexual misconduct, but one of them wished to remain anonymous. Now, in the letter, Brokaw's former colleagues paint the accused anchor as a man of tremendous decency and integrity who has treated at least all of the women who signed this with fairness and respect. This collective statement comes as a response to a Washington Post report published last week in which 2 of Brokaw's former female colleagues, including former NBC News anchor Linda Vester, accused him of touching them without their consent. Tom has treated each of us with fairness and respect, the letter says. He's given each of us opportunities for advancement and championed our success throughout our careers as we have advanced across industries, news, publishing, law, business, and government. Tom has been a valued source of counsel and support. So what do you do? Where do you go from there? Tom Brokaw himself says he says it's not true, and I feel terribly victimized.
He's
by
angry.
This. Yeah, I'm angry, and he's about to turn 80, I think. And he says he just feels horrible about it, and he feels it's not fair. So I don't know where you go from there, other than my guess is it'll go nowhere. Other than there is now this stain. It's a stain. Although that letter that these women signed has gone a long way to kind of not completely erase it, but at least lessen it.
It helped a lot.
Yeah. So the White House Correspondents' Dinner, comedian Michelle Wolf hired to deliver some provocative jokes at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and she did.
Like comedians are every year.
She's a woman.
It's what they hire comedians for.
Yes.
At this dinner, they want it to
point
be.
of it.
They want it to be kind of a roast. Now, I would argue that this is maybe not a good idea in the first place, but they do it. Now, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, it's a long program. She was a 15-minute part of it.
Yeah.
There are awards given. There are all kinds of speeches being made, and then they have a comedian, as you do at a lot of banquets and things like that. She roasted everybody: Trump, his administration, and the media.
Mm-hmm.
The roast was met with a lot of criticism, particularly for jabs at White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Her physical appearance, they said she demeaned her physical appearance. Now, the comments I heard her make about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, it didn't seem to me that Michelle Wolf was criticizing her physical appearance at all. She made a joke about her eyeshadow.
And that's it. Those were the physical appearance. That was the physical appearance joke.
That's all I got.
It was about her eyeshadow.
Yeah. And people say, this is body shaming. I don't.
No.
I think by bringing up body shaming, maybe you're body shaming. maybe bringing that up is, if you bring up and you say she was body shamed, maybe you're body shaming her by saying that. But
your mind went there.
Yeah, your mind went there to the fact that she's not a svelte woman. So I don't know. It's a big brouhaha, and it's really in the long run over nothing.
Yeah, it is over nothing. The people who are making a big deal about it are the press, and because of that, then the conservatives are feeding off of that. Because when we liberals make jokes, we're terrible people. When they say bad things about us, we're snowflakes. So
this is all distraction from the real problems.
And the conservative media is attacking the left-leaning media, and you can't hide the fact that CNN has the tendency to lean a little left, MSNBC a lot left.
But they're all defending.
But
they're all saying that Michelle Wolf should apologize, and it's because of access.
Yes. Yeah, and then the more conservative pundits are attacking CNN and MSNBC and all of that, saying, well, you can't have it both ways. You're attacking the president all the time. So, to me, it's a lot of, but my favorite line of the ones I heard was when she attacked Morning Joe, Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough. who have worked together on that show for a long time, and they have become close, and they've gotten engaged, and they're going to get married. And she said this is an example of the first time that maybe the Me Too movement worked out. Hashtag Me Too, it kind of worked out. So I thought that was a good joke. All right, let's move on to other stuff, because it's really just a bunch of... And I mean, you can bring up all of the things that President Trump has said, if you want, about, just to cap it off, all of the, name-calling and the mocking of a disabled reporter and calling people names and everybody he doesn't like, he has a crappy name for.
Yep.
But that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter, because he's our guy.
And Michelle Wolf is a woman.
Yep.
So that's it. All right. So let me tell you, there is a story about this guy here in Utah who was arrested for DUI, but that's not all. 18-year-old man crashed into a yard and then into a house with his car. He was driving drunk with a blood alcohol content measuring 0.145. The man also reportedly in the United States illegally.
Okay.
From El Salvador. Also, no driver's license.
Okay.
Also, false plates on the car.
Okay.
Also, fake registration in the car. And he had a 12-gauge shotgun with him and an open container of alcohol.
I think we should send that man back to Honduras.
That's not his home, Gene. It's El Salvador.
Or else, whatever.
Police were called this happened down in southern Utah, down in Santa Clara. Police were called to a crash in the yard at Santa Clara Drive at about 3 p.m. Probable cause documents from the Washington County Sheriff's Office said 18-year-old Kevin Josue Torres Cruz in that car jumped a curb, ran into the yard. Nobody hurt, fortunately. When police arrived, he was trying to back the car out of the yard, and he couldn't do it. Another accident, though, serious one up in Brigham City. The authorities are asking for the public's help in locating a driver who they think struck a 54-year-old man walking along State Route 30 early Friday morning. Dispatchers got a call from a passerby saying a man had been hit by a vehicle on the highway near Garland. UHP responded. They found the injured man, who was transported to the hospital in critical condition. They believe the man was hit by either a semi-truck, a large pickup truck, or a van. 2 hours earlier, authorities had received a call reporting a single vehicle crash involving a pickup truck near the border of Riverside and Colliston in Box Elder County. And they went to the scene, and there was no driver there, just the abandoned truck. Mm-hmm. They searched for 40 minutes, couldn't find him. Well, as it turns out, it was this guy's truck. Susie Harper identified the victim as her father. They say it looks like he probably crashed his truck into the pole, and he
walked away.
He didn't have his cell phone with him to call for help, and he was all by himself. So he started walking to find help, and walking on the side of the highway
in dark clothes, in the dark.
In the dark, and I suppose it's possible that he might have been hit, and if it was a semi, they didn't even know that they'd clipped him.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
I think that's entirely possible as well. Let's see. Spurred in part by allegations of sexual misconduct against powerful men across the country, 3 former teenage employees of a youth symphony orchestra in Utah County say that one of their longtime leaders either sexually abused them or inappropriately touched them, which I would say is sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
The accusers, now men in their 30s and 40s, have given detailed accounts of repeated sexual behavior that they say occurred with Brent E. Taylor at his home, in his car, and across state lines in like 1985, 2003, starting by the time they were no older than 14, 15, and 16. A fourth man, a former neighbor, also recalled sexual interactions with Taylor as a young teen and said the man provided him with alcohol and marijuana. Another accuser filed a police report in 2011 alleging that his brother-in-law had been abused by Taylor as a youth. A sixth man, also a former orchestra employee, described lewd activities at Taylor's home when he spoke to police in 2011. These now adult men say, I wish I'd had the courage to come forward when I was a kid. But when you're a teenager, a lot of times something happens like that, and you're embarrassed, you're afraid. You
think you're the only one.
You just want it to go away, and so, and you never tell anybody. And now these guys have come forward, and they it's too bad. I mean, I don't fault them for not coming forward.
But it probably takes one person, then you're like, that happened to me. That happened to you too?
But I mean, if they'd come forward back then, maybe this would have stopped. But it didn't. Golden State Killer, driven to commit his crimes by a hatred of an ex-fiancée, it says.
Bonnie broke his heart.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently.
So it's her fault.
It's her fault.
Yes.
The poor woman's in hiding now.
Former Bonnie Jean Colwell was engaged to D'Angelo in the early 70s, Mr. D'Angelo, who they think is the Golden State Killer. But she broke it off and went on to marry a wealthy accountant. Most certainly, if he's making the statement, I hate you, Bonnie, while he's attacking another female, he is what we call a retaliatory rapist, said Paul Holes, a retired investigator who helped crack the case. So I heard. So they found his. They found him by going. They found some DNA match by going through one of these
family sites.
Family sites. These like Ancestry.com. I don't think it was that one, but there are a bunch of them out there who do that, and they found his DNA and were able to track him down for that. So I hear on KSL this morning, they're saying, well, you better just beware that they may share your information. Some of these sites don't share your information. They keep it private, but on other sites, they don't keep your information private. So I guess they're on KSL this morning, they were talking to people who are killers. Beware. Watch out.
They're coming for you.
Amy Donaldson is here. Let's include her in the news for a second.
Yeah.
Gina was saying that hi, Amy.
How are you?
Amy is the sports reporter I'm well, thank you. Sports reporter for the Deseret News. And Gina was saying you had some pointed comments on Twitter, I believe it was.
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. About the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, please share your thoughts.
So my thoughts on it, I felt like things got twisted. Like they took one or two comments and twisted them for their purposes.
Yep.
And I know this happens to politicians, and that's why I always encourage people, when you read something that shocks you or disappoints you in somebody that you normally like, go watch the original video. And listen, Michelle Wolf is vulgar. And my theory is that she told too many lady part jokes. So
did she tell a lot of them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's her universe, right? So she talked about the pink hats and how they didn't use enough yarn from her perspective. And
that's funny.
Yeah, there were actually. I thought there were some laugh out loud moments.
No, she's very good.
And
she's really very good.
But she is vulgar.
Yeah.
And so if you don't like that kind of comedy, don't invite her. I do think that it might be too colorful for something like that, which brings in people who I doubt have ever seen stand-up, let alone somebody of Michelle Wolf's.
I think that's got a lot to do with it, yes.
But she is a woman, and she is unapologetic about coming at comedy from her perspective, and that's what she brought. And she did not insult Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
No.
She said that she burned lies and turned it into a perfect smoky eye. That's a real makeup thing. That's not. I mean, and she was saying her makeup looks good.
Yeah,
it's not an insult to her.
Yeah,
except that an insult to her character, which is totally fair game if you're going to do what you do. And I thought she was horrific, way more insulting to the media, and I felt very stung by it, and sort of like, hey man, get your crap together. You're doing a crappy job.
What? Who? You mean the media?
Yeah, she accused the media. She's like, you say you hate Trump, but I think you used to date him because all you do is talk about him. And it was the
You're
perfect
part of the problem, media.
Yeah, but it's if you're a woman, you've had this conversation with a girlfriend. So it's like that's what I'm saying, where it's a very female centric comedy routine, and it made everyone uncomfortable. And I thought it wasn't your typical, it wasn't Stephen Colbert. Everyone's like, oh, it reminded me of Stephen Colbert. In what way? She couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
He's very mainstream. He's a conservative guy.
He's not vulgar.
He's not.
He
Colbert is not conservative. He's very logical in his comedy.
But he comes from a Catholic conservative guy's point of view. He's raised in the South. he has some sensibilities and sensitivities that he respects that Michelle Wolf doesn't even. They don't even register on her scale of. You know, she said you should have done more research before you invited me in the middle of the thing. Yeah. Because there's people like covering their mouths and like, oh my gosh, she didn't just say that about Jake Tapper's orgasm, you know?
And there are people who are wearing it as a badge of honor who were there who are saying, I got up and I walked out. Well, pin a rose on your nose.
Then I think I just go to this whole thing about do you really love free speech? You know, because I don't think we do.
Well, you don't want to make people uncomfortable, okay?
Well, then we don't love free speech.
Well,
and your husband points out that she didn't swear once.
Yes, she did.
Oh, she did?
My husband doesn't recognize the F word, but she did.
I guess. All right.
I understand. It is at our house, not necessarily a bad word.
Maybe he's confused.
He didn't swear once. Oh, the F word's a swear word?
Let's quickly do weather, then we'll get to sports here.
Okay, let me do weather and traffic too while we're at it. The weather is it's wet and raining, and we'll do that to a large part of the day, and we're much cooler than we were over the weekend, 59 for a high. Traffic, I want to remind you about the I-215 West lane splits for northbound and southbound traffic between 1800 North and North Salt Lake and the Legacy Highway. Northbound traffic should stay to the left for Legacy Highway or right for I-215 northbound. This is all due to that construction project they've got going on up there. And we have wet roads this morning and a little bit of snow actually coming up over Parley's at the summit there. Not really sticking to the roads, but it is coming down. Crash I-15 near 114 South, both northbound and southbound being affected in that area. That's traffic brought to you by, upon qualification, buy a new home with New Dwello's Gift of Equity program. A gift could mean up to $8,740 for the purchase of a new home. Text the word money to 62687.
And sports sponsored?
There are more ways to see 2 News. Watch 2 News at 7 and 2 News at 9, only at KJazz Channel 14.
Amy Donaldson Sports. Break.
Here she is, sports reporter for the Deseret News. You can read all of her stuff at deseretnews.com. Columns, what you column about today?
It's about Stansbury High, and they surprised a teacher who was battling breast cancer at the 17th annual Swing for Life tournament this weekend.
Let's get to sports now, and there's a lot of basketball to talk about.
There's a lot of basketball. You had basketball playoffs this weekend and the NFL draft, so there was lots of sports. But Utah Jazz lose to the Houston Rockets 36 hours after closing out their first-round series. The score was 110-96.
Is there something to be said for the fact that they might have been kind of tired?
I think so, but that's what they've been doing for 82 games before this.
And Houston's really good. So.
They've
lost James Harden. I watched just
41
a little.
Points.
I watched a little of that game.
Yeah.
And he does that thing where he dribbles back and forth between his legs and back and forth, and it's like he's hypnotizing people. He just puts them to sleep and then he shoots.
Yeah, he's really great at finding the weakest link or the weakness in and not just in a team but in a scenario. So he like processes the situation really quick, and he's really good. 41 points.
Yeah.
He was on fire. You could say they were playing without Ricky Rubio, who may be out at least. The
Jazz were,
maybe out 10 days with a hamstring issue, which is
who's that guy who was replacing him? That big, tall, skinny white guy.
He's from Texas, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But yeah, they tried a few people to make up for losing Ricky Rubio, and nobody's Ricky Rubio. So that will be tough. But XM, there'll be a few guys sharing that position and trying to get some time there. But let's see, we had in the Eastern Conference, LeBron James. I just wanted to point this out. In the 4 games they won, they closed out the Pacers to advance the second round. 105-101.
No, who won? Who's advancing?
LeBron James, the Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers
they beat the Pacers.
Okay.
Yes.
All
so
right.
they are going to the second round. Okay. And in the 4 games that the Cavs won, LeBron James averaged 42 points.
Yeah.
Average.
He is the greatest. Average. He is the greatest player in basketball right now because he's not got a very good team around him.
No.
And he's the one who wins.
And if he has even an average good game, like what would normally, you look at the stat lines, and even the Jazz players had great games statistically. you look at those and then you look at what you have to do to win. I mean, and LeBron is it. If he has a bad game, they're done.
Yeah.
So they start with Toronto. They open with Toronto tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you want to see some LeBron James in the NFL draft, we had a few locals go. Not nearly as exciting as last year was, but BYU's Fred Warner was the highest local pick. He went in the 3rd round. He's an outside linebacker, and he was chosen at number 70, and he goes to San Francisco. Weber State,
What?
your home, away from home, ends its 8-year draft drought as cornerback Taron Johnson was drafted to the Buffalo Bills in the 4th round.
Okay.
So you can see a Weber guy in.
Yeah.
Also drafted Utah's Kylie Fitz. He was a 6th round pick to Chicago Bears, and he'll probably land a spot on the roster and maybe get some playing time because the Bears are poo. So
the Bears are poo.
And then you had former Bingham High standout Dalton Schultz. He's a tight end who played for Stanford. He was drafted by the Cowboys in the 4th round. I know you guys have a ton of Cowboys fans because I always forget them in our NFL.
Oh, okay. All right.
And,
I'm not one of them, by the way.
I know you're not, but you have some sponsors who really love the Cowboys. So, so go Cowboys. Former Logan High QB Luke Falk, who set all kinds of records at Washington State. He was drafted at number 199, the exact spot that Tom Brady was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. And then I included a bunch of links to some of those stories. There's a bunch of free agent deals. I think there were 6 from Utah, 3 from BYU, and a bunch of guys invited to mini camps. Some people are still in the works.
Why does that go on outside of the draft?
Well, because being drafted, there's certain rules that apply, minimum payments for whichever round you're drafted in, contract-wise. Free agent deals can be anything.
I didn't know that. I'm not nearly as big a football fan as I am a Jazz fan,
That's right, yeah. So we know
Ask
that.
him anything about the Jazz.
Oh,
He
man.
knows.
Utah's most experienced sportsman.
Yeah. Well, for the Jazz, I'm a huge Jazz
Take
fan.
note, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. So have you been to the Shrine?
Yeah, well, Gina has.
You've been to the Shrine?
I've been to the Shrine.
Did you leave something there?
I didn't.
Oh.
I was just worried somebody died.
Oh, I have been to the Shrine. I didn't go up to it, but I walked by it the other day.
It's by the Rare Bookstore.
Yeah,
so.
I was walking down Broadway, and I looked over, and there it was.
It's not on
Broadway. No, I know. It's off Broadway on 30s or 2nds.
Real Salt
can
Lake
see
fell to
it from
Vancouver
Broadway.
2-0. Lewis Hamilton, a little VIP courtesy here. Lewis Hamilton, Great Britain Mercedes won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I don't even know. Was he the only car?
Azerbaijan?
I don't know. Utah Royals tied the Thorns 1-1. They will host next Saturday the Washington Spirit. They come to Rio Tinto, and that team's a lot of fun to watch. You should definitely check them out.
The Royals?
The Royals, yes. The Bees won at El Paso, and they're home today if they don't get rained out.
Well, it's probably going to clear up by tonight.
I also included, since you're such a Jazz fan, Bill, on your roundup on your on x96.com, a story by Aaron Falk from the Salt Lake Tribune that is amazing about Jerry Sloan and sort of what his life is like now.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah,
I read it.
Wasn't it good?
Yeah. And it's also the reason I'm going to stop going to Jazz games. Because whenever they put me on the Jumbotron, I get a little bit of applause. But they put Jerry Sloan on the Jumbotron, the crowd,
You know what you need? Smoky eyes.
Well, that's what I mean.
And we've come full circle.
Radio from hell. Fair weather fans, as long as the Jazz are winning. Go Team X96.
There we go.
Jerry's got himself a pretty young wife, too.
Huge delays. I-215 between 23rd North and I-80 West. The turn off the airport. The right lane's blocked, and wet roads are creating quite a little parking lot right there. Let's see. Crash I-15 near 114 South, both northbound and southbound. Cars on the southbound are off to the right shoulder and northbound. The left shoulder is blocked as well. And somebody else was saying, let's see, by Sugar House Park. I-80 westbound by Sugar House Park is really backed up for some reason. There were cop cars there as well.
There's standing water there.
Okay. So thank you for sending that in. You did that via text, and we appreciate it. 33986.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll be back with Boehner's Round 1 coming up. Got to tell you about Shamrock Plumbing right now.
Shamrock Plumbing, the plumbers that you need in your house if you have any kind of a plumbing problem.
I have had plumbing problems and had them in my house recently.
Or maybe you just want Shamrock Plumbing to come in and clean up clean stuff up and put in a new water heater and a water softener, all of that kind of thing. I told they came in, did that for me, and they said, while we're here, you got all this old pipe here, and it's just really not efficient. And should we clean that up? I said, yeah, do it. So they put in a bunch of new pipe, and really the basement is less cluttered, and it's just great. Shamrock Plumbing, free water purification system with the purchase of a new water softener. And soft water in your house is a good thing. The water in Salt Lake City is notoriously hard, full of a lot of minerals.
I noticed a big difference when we got our water softener from Shamrock.
Yeah, it's the water you get all that buildup and crusting on your faucets and that. So get a water softener and a water purification system. Call Shamrock Plumbing, 801-295-1690, or go to shamrockplumbing.net.
Oh, we could send you to a couple of bands. Well, it is time for the kiss. Now, did we get enough kiss money?
Yes.
In the short amount of time?
He's lying. Yes, we did.
How much did we get? We had the
$1,800 that was dropped off here. And then on the phones we had about $455. We said $2,000. That's $2,255.
And that was in a 10-minute time frame, really.
Richie has always wanted to kiss Gina.
So badly.
Always wanted to.
No. Oh, Craig's reaching into his wallet. I was hoping you would stop it.
Yeah.
And we need.
Here's Craig's going to give $2,000 to stop it.
And we need video of this.
Oh.
We need evidence. People will want to see this on our website. All right, have you got it, Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Richie, why don't you?
Is there an embrace involved in this, or just?
No, what?
Well, there was over 2,000.
Okay.
I don't know, Craig.
He's taking his teeth out. Watch,
we'll let Craig decide. Is an embrace okay?
Yeah.
During the kiss? Because this is the guy who signs the check.
I'm doing this willingly, so I don't think it's sexual harassment.
So now I'm gonna.
Wow.
Do we need to pull him off?
Take the microphone up with you.
She's so creeped out she can't. She is so creeped out.
It's for
she can't
the
stand
homeless and to defeat FM 100. Oh, excuse me. It's to defeat FM 100 and for the homeless.
All right.
Yeah, you're going to want the microphone close for the noises.
Smacking noise.
You're not going to be any noise. Oh, quit licking your lips.
Okay. Here we go.
Put your teeth in, Richie.
No, I said I would do it with the teeth out. Now, who's counting?
We all will. 1,001, like that, okay?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Ready?
Okay. Ready, set, go. They're not doing it yet.
So weird.
Okay.
This is really weird. I didn't think it was going to be. Okay.
Let's do it. Okay. 1,000. 1,000. Wait a minute, I lost count. 1,
3.
Yay!
For the homeless. Yay! It's for the homeless.
Yeah, we should have had mistletoe. Was it a big disappointment, Richie?
Richie, was it worth it?
No,
Was it everything you
but Gina wants more.
Was it everything you hoped?
That was more than 3 seconds.
That was. She kissed back, guys.
Did she?
Did she?
She kissed back.
Yeah, was it better for me or was it better for you, Gina?
It sounds like it was better for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig Hansen, the president of our company, now wants to see me in his office later this afternoon.
Oh,
again?
Maybe he's
another
got
2,000.
Maybe he's got 2,000 he wants to spend. Yeah.
Well,
He saw what a good kisser you were. He wants lessons.
I'm glad. Did you just wipe my kiss off?
That was really weird. I didn't think it was going to be that weird until you were right in my face.
So this is my question. You're constantly flirting with Gina.
Soft lips. Is that your question?
No, I'm just wondering if this has changed your desires or
Yeah,
intensified them.
We're done.
You're
We're done?
We-
That's it?
We fulfilled it. Well, what else are we going to do, Gina?
There's nowhere to go from
Yeah.
here.
All I know is that I have a really sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that I didn't have about 5 minutes ago. So
It's
That
done.
was good. Did it for charity.
We did
Okay.
it.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but, I mean, come on. You know, we'll take what we can get. X96.
All right, 7:05.
So I didn't go see Avengers over the weekend. My wife and I went out. Mrs. Bill and I went out for a nice dinner at Current, and then to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We went to walk down to the Broadway.
Did you have the old-fashioned at
No, I have the
old-fashioned. Or
no,
Manhattan, they had a
it's-
good Manhattan.
No.
No?
I'll tell you what I have if you'll just let me.
All right.
I had a Vesper martini. With one of the very few places in town I know that makes them, and because it takes Lillet, but which most places don't have, and they make a damn good Vesper martini, and they make it so good that I had 3 of them.
Undercurrent has a really good bar.
Yeah, and so and then we walked down to because I had 3, martinis. So
That was probably wise.
Walked down to the Broadway and looked to my right and saw the shrine, Gina,
Okay.
as we were walking down there. And so we went to see The Death of Stalin, which I'd heard was really good. And I watched a preview for it, or a trailer for it, online at the Salt Lake Film Society's website, slfs.org. Are we doing an ad for them today? And then the trailer looked really funny. And I asked my wife, should we go see The Death of Stalin? Is that okay? Because, it's at 7 o'clock. We'll go to dinner early. And yeah, it's fine. That's fine. So we walk down. We go to the movie. It's great. It's directed by the guy who does Veep. Directed and written by him, I think. It's very funny. It's amazingly. It seems to be just the setting. It seems to be as though they're there. I don't know if they filmed it. I should look it up.
I felt that way in Infinity War.
Like you were there?
I was in Wakanda.
Really? But it was, and it's interesting that there are these people playing these parts that you don't think should be playing them, but they do it, and they're really funny. Steve Buscemi is Nikita Khrushchev.
Sure, I can see that.
Which,
So it's a choice.
See, Nikita Khrushchev was a heavy, round, old Russian farmer.
Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi's really thin, but he has a bald pate, and they kind of did bulk him up a little, like they had him wearing big suits, and he's very funny. And what's his name? Transparent, Hank. Hey thou.
So it was good.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the movie, although twice I had to turn around. 3 times I had to turn around, and there was a guy there with his older. I guess it was his older mother. It was a younger-looking guy with an older woman, and I think he was explaining certain things that were going on to her. And I had, please, shh, quiet. And then it happened again. Please, quiet. Finally, I turned around and said, "Am I going to have to move?" And they were quiet after that. But so we got out of the movie, and I said to my wife, "How'd you like that? Did you like it?" Not particularly. Really? No. Didn't care for it. Why? I thought it was funny, and I liked the. She said, "Yeah, it was. It was okay. It was funny, but it didn't. I want a movie to take me out of my, take me away from reality, and it was too brutal in that it's very satirical and has a lot of relating to what's going on today. So it didn't let her escape from what's going on in the world today.
You should have gone to Infinity War.
Well, yeah. So I said, "Well, I'm sorry," and I felt responsible
because you picked it.
Because I picked it. That's silly, isn't it? Now she didn't.
You didn't make the movie.
No, and she wasn't mad at me, but I felt responsible. Oh man, I screwed up.
You didn't screw up. You went to see a movie, and then you go see a movie, and then you talk about it after. And did you like it?
Don't. I bet a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel if you pick the restaurant and it turns out to be crappy.
Well, if they do, they shouldn't.
Well, you shouldn't. No, but
because
I think
it's really out of your control.
Yeah.
I mean, all you were basing anything on was reviews from people that they said good, and I
watched the trailer.
Commercial for the movie.
Yeah.
Now, if you said, I'm going to pick this movie, and I bet my wife hates it, but let's go anyway.
Yeah, you know,
that's not what you did.
No. But I want to draw a larger picture here. I think a lot of people feel responsible. If you pick the restaurant and it turns out to be bad, that's why people say, I'm not going to pick. Where do you want to go to dinner? I'm not picking.
Well, 5 years of a horrible marriage taught me.
This is our producer, Richie.
That everything was my fault anyway. So, no.
Yeah, now see that opens up a different.
So my wife didn't do that
because
to me.
no, I've been on dates where we've gone to a restaurant and it was bad, and I was the problem. I was the because I picked it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I picked the place. And I'm like, I'd never eaten here before.
How am I to know? Yeah.
I just heard so-and-so say, well, you should not trust so-and-so.
Now, if you went to that movie and saw it and thought, I'm going to bring my wife to this movie.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but that would be stupid.
Yeah.
She did not in any way, other than say I didn't care for it, but I did feel sort of like, I felt sort of responsible. God, I'm sorry I
But
picked
you
it.
had a nice night out. You went out to dinner.
Yeah,
You went,
it was great. And then we went home and watched Lost in Space, and she enjoyed that way more. But I think a lot of people do. They just feel, oh crap, I really screwed up.
Well, and to your point, I don't feel like I really screwed up, but I just don't care so much of the time that I will say, like to Jessica, the girl that I'm dating right now, I'll say, you pick. And when I offer something, when I genuinely offer something, that means I really want to go there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 95% of the time, you go because she has different, diet things that she wants to do or things that she thinks is fun. I just like being with her. She can pick, but the 5% when I say I want to go to here, I really want to go there.
Well,
that's the thing.
That's the other thing. Maybe you should always pick you should always just let the other person pick.
Yeah, I do for the most part.
No. Or should my wife have said, now, again, this was not a problem between us. We didn't argue about it or anything like that. It was just a little feeling in me. I felt slightly responsible. But should my wife have said, even though she didn't like it, yeah, it was great. It was fine.
No, you don't have to lie about it.
Well, I know.
Part of the fun with going to a movie, I think, is discussing it after. Honestly discussing it. I liked it. I didn't really. You didn't like it. You shouldn't lie about it.
I don't think that there is any fun in that, because that will result in an argument eventually.
Only if you let it.
But didn't you see that?
No, in fact, that's why I like to go to the movie first and dinner after. Because then you don't go to dinner first and then a movie. You go movie, then dinner, and you go to dinner and you talk about the movie at dinner. Oh, oh no, I didn't see that. Did you? I like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't let my wife get hungry during a movie. If she's hungry during a movie, or if she goes to the movie hungry, and we have to eat first. It's better to not let her be hungry. It's better to not let my wife be hungry.
That's my sign off today. By the way,
I think you better let her pick the movies too.
No, my wife, if she's hungry, that's all she can think about is being hungry.
They have food eat a little snack at the movie, like a little
popcorn. They got the Ritter Sport you won't shut up about.
Really, Gina? Really? They have snacks at the movie? I had never noticed that. I walk into movies all the time and I go, God, why don't they have snacks here?
There's no reason
I'm walking
to be
right
hungry
by
at
them?
the movie.
Am I walking right by them? Is that what it is?
There's a snack bar, but oddly, no snacks.
Well, I didn't even notice there was a snack bar. I just walk and I get my ticket and I go right to the theater door. I didn't notice that. Huh.
All lanes of travel are stopped westbound I-80 at 13th East, and a secondary crash near 23rd East is blocking the right lane. Kerry came this way to work this morning. He said there's a lot of...
Well, there's always standing water there just before the 13th overpass.
So traffic is, again, all lanes of travel stopped westbound I-80 from Foothill Boulevard going into Sugar House. Avoid that area if you can. Huge delays I-215 between 2300 North and the I-80 West turnoff at the airport. Right lane is blocked and wet roads are creating a parking lot there. And we still have issues at 114th South affecting both northbound and southbound traffic there on I-15. Wet roads causing an accident there as well.
All right.
Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tire store today. Save up to $150 off a set of 4 Big O brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
All right. Boehner's round 1 coming up. Here are the candidates. Number 1, I think we can do better. Number 2, but Your Honor, she already has the tickets. And Boehner candidate number 3, a perfect example of creating a hostile workplace.
All right, we got round 1 of your Boehner voting along with Big Boy News coming up after these. We could send you to a couple of bands in concert. All right, now what?
This is Utah word of the day. That's
from what year? Do you have any idea?
94, I want to say.
94.
1994. Okay.
Let's see. Here we go.
Today, we examine another group of words used by most Utahns called L words, or words that end in ELL.
Oh, yeah.
And to help you with today's lesson, each time an L word is used in the following dialogue, a bell will sound. Imagine, if you will, our 2 friends, LeVar and LeGrand, together in LeVar's trailer house. The TV is on. A conversation ensues. Again, these are L words.
I love this TV show.
Yeah.
I am so glad that someone is showing the reruns of McKell's Navy.
Me too. You know, I would just love to set sail with McKell myself. Hey, you remember the one when the wacky crew of PT Boat 73 tried to save that beached well?
Oh, yeah. They had a hard time because of this big storm.
Yeah.
Gale force winds and hell stones the size of golf balls.
Yeah, yeah.
But they saved that well anyway. McKell did not fell.
Well, no thanks to Gruber. Yeah, that was quite a tell, though. Hey, listen, give me some of them snacks, would you? I'm hungry.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
What?
Trell mix.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this, LeGrand, but Trell mix makes me thirsty for just one thing.
You're not going to be drinking beer in front of me, are you, LeVar?
Oh, no. I'm going to have me a glass of L.
L is beer?
Yeah, but this is pretty mild. It's that Pell L from Squatters. It's so mild I can drink a whole bucket of it.
You'd get drunk if you drunk a whole Pell of Pell L. Then you'd get throwed in jail. And I'd have to bail you out. Oh, hey, looky here what I got in the mail. It's a flyer from Deseret Book. It says here that Dan Quell is coming to town to sign copies of his new book.
Boy, the liberals sure rode Bush and Quell out of Washington on a rel.
Sure did.
They fought tooth and nail, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear that this new book of his really lifts the veil of secrecy about Washington life and what really went on. You know, I'd like to see him. What Deseret Book is he at?
Well, the one by that big jewelry store.
Big jewelry store. You mean Morgan's Jewelers?
Nope. Zell's.
There you go.
That's back when we had this theory that we would beat you over the head with comedy. You know, the way to get you to laugh was to beat you over the head with comedy.
Why didn't we ever learn to edit?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know. Also, now, you were shouting, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, though, out of all of the Utah Word of the Days, that was the best one.
It was one of the,
Really?
Yeah. It was one of the better ones.
In my opinion, I think that was the best one. Whenever someone says, what's the quintessential episode, I say that one.
I still like Lard Dorothy. That's a gorgeous orange.
I like talking to the manager of the store about the manger scene.
Yeah.
The crash, the manger scene. The manger. I need to speak to the manger about the manger scene.
God. Beat you over the head is right. Even I was getting bored. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that's why we don't do sketches anymore, all right? Anyway.
Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
It's really worth your time. Half an hour a week to watch Barry. Very, very much worth your time.
Yeah, it's a good show. It is time for round one of your Boehner voting. Presenting to you 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You've got to listen to all 3, and then you'll decide which one of these 3 is the worst and therefore most qualified to go forward to get that 50-50 chance of becoming Boehner of the Day. If it wins here, it'll go up against the winner of round 2. Yes, round 2 at 8:20, where 3 new, different Boehner candidates are presented. And you'll decide for round 2. Then we'll take the 2 winners, and they'll duke it out. Boehner fight happens at 9:20. That's when you will decide Boehner of the Day. So, 2 candidates now, a 3rd candidate after the big boy news. And once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random Boehner voters will receive
a gift certificate to go see our good friends at Gracie's.
Here's Boehner candidate number 1. I think we can do better. That's a quote from this story.
Oh, okay.
Omar Austin had to do a double take when he spotted a sexually explicit question on his teenage daughter's homework assignment this week. He did a double take. He went, what? This needs to be seen. What the hell is going on in our schools? The Florida father asked as he read the question aloud in a video posted to Facebook. Here's the question. The multiple choice question read, Ursula was devastated when her boyfriend broke up with her after having sex.
Whoa.
To get revenge, she had sex with his best friend the next day.
What?
Ursula had a beautiful baby girl 9 months later. Ursula has type O blood. Her ex-boyfriend has AB blood, and his best friend is type A blood. If her baby daddy is her ex-boyfriend, what could the possible blood types of her baby not be? As a Friday evening...
I have a hard time believing this.
As a Friday evening, the video has been viewed a lot of times. Somebody actually gets paid to make this test. I'm assuming someone checks the wording of the question. What happened to common sense? Somebody wrote. Austin told the First Coast News in Florida he immediately contacted the principal at Westside High School in Jacksonville to flag the inappropriate question that was on his 11th grade daughter's practice test for her upcoming anatomy exam. This was a district-generated worksheet that the teacher just printed offline, and it was given to the students. I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to be reviewed. I wanted to be changed. Austin called the bias question sad and a disgrace to our educational system. I think we can do better, he said.
Yes.
So if it was a district generated, that means it went through some other eyes before it...
Yeah.
Although they're sort of indicating here in the story that the teacher didn't really read the questions. She or he just printed off.
But you would think if it came from the district that it would have been, I don't know, that I would have thought twice about, well, this is from the district. I guess it's okay.
Well, I think we can do better. Boehner candidate number 1. It's weird that these things happen. I mean, it is almost unbelievable, and yet it happens.
There's a way to word that question that's better than that.
Well, yeah. Here's Boehner candidate number 2. But, Your Honor, she already has the tickets. An attorney representing a 17-year-old girl who is facing felony-level vehicular homicide charges asked the judge in her case if the Georgia teenager could keep her passport and go on a cruise only a month after she was behind the wheel in a deadly crash that killed her friend.
Nope.
Prosecutors say the teen may have been using Snapchat while she drove 106 miles an hour in her Mini Cooper, crashing into a tree and killing her friend, 18-year-old Michaela Penn. Michaela died. The teen driver was transported to hospital. Now, Channel 2 reports the teen is facing first-degree vehicular homicide charges, as well as charges of reckless driving and speeding. She's been placed on a $31,000 bond, and the judge ordered she cannot drive or use Snapchat. Penn's family and the district attorney are not happy because the teen now wants to go on a cruise.
Nope.
Well, listen, Your Honor, she already has the tickets.
She's not going to drive. She's on a boat.
Just come on.
No.
Now, come on. These tickets are expensive. They're not refunded. Come on.
Somebody died.
Boehner candidate number 2. But, Your Honor, she already has the tickets. Coming up in a moment, Boehner candidate number 3. A perfect example of creating a hostile work environment.
All right. Big boy news and opinioendo now. Then we'll get to Boehner candidate number 3. News brought to you by
Black Velvet Boutique is a local.
What is it?
It's locally owned and operated.
Oh.
A sexual wellness resource. Open 7 days a week. Drop in and find something fun and exciting. Don't forget to mention Radio from Hell to get 30% off lingerie. Located at 293 South State Street in Clearfield or online at blackvelvetboutique.com.
I'm worried about our London friend of the program.
How come?
Because of caterpillars. You giggle. You
I didn't.
Smirk.
It was her.
That was
I
you.
didn't giggle.
I heard
Don't
you
put
do
that
it.
on
That
me.
was Carrie. UK forestry officials are warning that oak processionary moth caterpillars have been sighted emerging from eggs in and near the city.
Okay.
Each of their 62,000 hairs.
Okay.
Each caterpillar has 62,000 hairs. Contain the protein thaumatopin,
Okay.
which can cause allergic reactions to skin and eye irritation, difficulty breathing, and even anaphylactic shock. The insects originate in southern Europe, but have had a presence in southern England for a while when live oaks from Europe were imported along with insect eggs. In addition to their potential danger to humans, they can strip oak trees of leaves, leaving them to die. And there is an infestation of them. They are predicting thousands and thousands of these caterpillars invading London. So watch out. Be careful. I would say learn what they look like, because there are other caterpillars.
So
Just
it's
learn
okay
what
to
those look
touch
like.
other caterpillars.
You bet. You bet. And NASA, that's the National Aeronautic Space Administration, baffled by mysterious circles in the Arctic ice. Somewhere in the Arctic sea ice, where the temperatures are typically below freezing even on the warmest days, there is a random pattern of holes. And NASA
Carrie, is this a movie?
can't figure out what they are.
This is a movie. Is Superman? Is it?
NASA has, well, it would be The Thing, if
The
anything.
Thing?
Yeah. NASA has spent the past decade flying over the Earth's Arctic and Antarctic regions in an attempt to understand the connections between the world's climate systems. These are circular features, and they have never seen anything like them in all the years that they've been doing these flyovers. That's the music from The Thing right there. Sort of does sound like it.
One might even say that they are patterned.
Wait
How
a
do
minute.
you answer that question, Scully?
You know, I love the...
It's not random.
I love The Thing, and I love the remake, John Carpenter's The Thing, but my favorite moment in the original black and white, the old one with the dumb monster played by James Arness, is when they first discover the spaceship under the ice. And they say, well, let's see if we can figure out what the size of this thing. Everybody hold hands. And they hold hands and make this big circle around what's under the ice. And then there's just this quiet, and then somebody goes, holy cow. I love it. The French First Lady, Mademoiselle Macron, she says that she had a great time with Melania Trump. She said she is actually funny, smart, and we had a great time together.
Well, that's nice.
But she also says she is not allowed to go outside.
What?
By whom is she not allowed to go outside?
Well, Brigitte Macron says she doesn't know. The comment comes
Does
on
she have
the
a
heels.
shock collar if she goes off the property?
It doesn't say. But she said that she has to be very careful as a first lady, and Melania cannot do anything. She can't even open a window at the White House. She can't go outside, which in Brigitte's opinion is a shame. The First Lady, she said, we laughed a lot together. She's kind, charming, intelligent, and very open, but she's not allowed to do anything in public on her own.
Well, she might escape.
By the way, did you That's right. Keep her in here. By the way, did you see that there are pictures of the Macrons and the Trumps planting a tree on the White House grounds?
This is a non-story, by the way.
Now that it's gone, it's missing?
It's not missing.
It's not there anymore.
They gave him the tree.
Yeah.
And Trump said, I want a photo op of us planting the tree. Now, when you bring in stuff from another country, there's a quarantine period where...
Because it might have those caterpillars on it.
Or something like that, seriously. And he said, well, I still want a picture of us planting it. So they pretended to plant it, and now the tree is in quarantine. It will come back. It's not like they...
Thanks for getting to the bottom of that story for us, Gina. I knew I could count on you to get to the bottom of that one. Donald Trump did threaten to, so he's at a campaign rally instead of the correspondence dinner, and he threatened, if I don't get my wall, we're going to shut the government down.
Okay.
Wrong. Shut it down. We'll shut the government down.
They're building your wall. What do you mean?
Are they?
They're doing stuff.
Well, there's no. He hasn't got official funding for it. By the way, Ronnie Jackson, who was going to head the Veterans Administration,
the Candyman,
and then it was, and all of that stuff. See, to me, almost that's a non-story. The Candyman stuff and whether he wrecked a car or not. I don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I cared about was the fact that he was singularly unqualified to head the Veterans Administration.
Well, yeah, that was the
That's
story.
the thing you should care about
until we found out about the fact that he was the Candyman.
But he now not only is he not going to be the head of the Veterans Administration, he is no longer the president's physician. I think Ronnie Jackson has slipped into the woodwork and will not be heard of ever again.
I heard someone put it just beautifully the other day. There are a lot of people that have been thrown under that Access Hollywood bus.
I like that.
Count Ronnie Jackson among them.
I like that.
The Bureau of Land Management is going to offer 4 new Utah parcels of public land at its next quarterly oil and gas lease, centered on the south central part of the state, Wayne, Sevier, and Beaver counties, auctioning off parcels of land for oil drilling on the edge of protected land. That's great. I'm so excited. Maybe we'll get some oil from out of there, and the environment be damned, right?
Mm-hmm.
The environment be damned.
Yep. Weather, traffic?
It's wet, and we'll be wet most of the day, and it's much cooler than it has been. Highs only hovering in the low 60s, maybe even just upper 50s, and that water is causing havoc for our commuters this morning. My computer has frozen up. Must have Bill's computer today.
They just swap them?
It's just this was as of about 20 minutes ago. All lanes of travel stopped westbound 80 at 13th East. If there's a friend of the program stopped in that, if you could text me and let me know if you're still sitting there, if that's opened up, I would appreciate it. Also, a secondary crash near 23rd East, blocking the right lane. Traffic at a standstill from Foothill Boulevard to Sugar House. Huge delays, I-215 at the I-80 West turnoff to go to the airport. And still having delays, 114th South, I-15. And Parley Summit, we've got a little bit of snow actually up there. Not really sticking to the roads, but is causing them to be a little more slushier. Send me some stuff. 33986. My UDOT website froze up on me. So
all right, here's Boehner candidate to number 3. This is a perfect example of creating a hostile work environment. I want you to pay attention to this, Gina, because I know you've accused me of creating a hostile work environment for you on many occasions. And nothing compared to this. Really.
Okay.
Nothing. A doctor in Georgia has been charged with making terroristic threats after she allegedly threatened to slit the throats of all of her employees.
All of them?
Marian Antoinette Patterson.
Well, she's a doctor.
A family practice doctor who's worked in the Valdosta, Georgia area for almost 30 years, allegedly shouted a slew of threats at her employees. Dr. Patterson, according to authorities, told employees she would slit their throats. Excuse me.
And she's a doctor, so she'd know how to do it the right way.
Very cleanly. Yeah, she would slit their throats and even cut off their heads and roll them down the hallway. She said to one employee, "I will cut off your head and roll it down the hallway."
What was she so upset about?
Well, and then she said,
there may be some justification for this if I hear the reason.
Is there justification for this? I will cut off your head, I will roll it down the hallway, and then I'll call your children and ask them to come down here and look at it.
It's getting very specific.
I want to know what horrible thing her employees did to cause this.
She allegedly grabbed at least one employee and threw a catalog, reflex hammer, and prescription bottle at her. She tried to throw a large potted plant at someone. She tossed water on employees. A sheriff spokesperson calls the situation unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
This is unfortunate. Apparently there are some factors in her life that brought about some sort of emotional problem. What caused this? Probably nothing.
The filing system is atrocious.
I
will remove your heads.
Where is my stethoscope? Boehner candidate number 3. Perfect example of creating a hostile work environment.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
Boehner candidate number 1. I think we can do better. The story of a father outraged about the sexually explicit question on his daughter's homework test. Boehner candidate number 2. But, Your Honor, she already has the tickets. A lawyer pleading to the judge for his client, a Georgia teenager who was facing felony homicide charges, vehicular homicide charges. Now, she and her family have tickets for a cruise, Your Honor. Can she'll come back for the trial, but, let her go on the cruise. I don't think so. And Boehner candidate number 3, a perfect example of creating a hostile work environment.
All right, there you go. It's time to decide. This is round 1 of your Boehner voting. You've got to pick which one of these 3 is a real contender. Which one has the best chance of becoming Boehner of the Day? See, if it wins here, it's not Boehner of the Day. It'll go up against the winner of round 2's voting. That's 3 new candidates and another winner at 8:20. We take the 2 winners and make them duke it out at 9:20. That's when Boehner fight happens. That's when Boehner of the Day is decided. So pick your contender here for round 1. 1, 2, or 3. Remember the candidate number? Put that number in the message of a text, and text that to 33986. You can call, use your voice to vote, 877-602-9696, or go to x96.com, look for the box that says Boehner Voting April 30, and vote there. All right, you got 300 seconds. Let's go. This is round 1.
The music starts at 10 with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding on X96.
I call this poem, I Hate X96. I can ride the wildest bronco in the wild and woolly west. I can take him, I can break him, let him do his level best. I can handle any cattle, ever wore a coat of hair. Hell, I've even had to tussle with a mean old grizzly bear. But there's one thing I can't handle. It nearly makes me sick. I gotta listen to that god-awful music just to hear my poems on X96. It's nice of Carrie and Bill to play my poems on the radio, but God, that music they put on about makes my lunch chunks blow. Who are these violent femmes? Their songs just make me sick. And then there's that Morrissey, a whining limey prick. When that 9-inch nails feller sings closer, it makes me feel mighty mean. And them 2 cute boys from Eraser are the biggest sissies I've ever seen. Give me country music from Bocephus, from Merle, and from Willie. I don't want no caterwauling from The Cure, or bands with names that are downright silly. like hoodoo gurus. Gene loves Jezebel, Weezer, and Ween, and MC 900-foot Jesus. Jesus, what the hell does that mean? I wish I could do my cowboy poems on a station with good old boys what plays country tunes, instead of that X96 with its long-haired, earring-wearing, sissified, sushi-eating, devil-worshipping goons. There is one good thing about X96. Heed my words if you wanna. At least them immoral bastards don't play them skank hooer songs by Madonna. I'm Conway Skinner.
All right, it's 7:45. Time to award round one of your boner voting.
And round one of the boner voting is brought to you in part by
Yep.
Brown Rice.
And got a case of the Mondays. Gracie's has the cure. Check out their Monday night jazz sessions featuring David Halliday and the Jazz Vespers Quartet from 7 to 10. Adults only at Gracie's.
We had boner candidate number one. I think we can do better. A sexually explicit question on a 17-year-old girl's homework. Dad, understandably curious and rather angry about it. Not necessary. Boner candidate number two, but Your Honor, she already had the tickets. A Georgia teenager still wants to go on a cruise, even after facing felony vehicular homicide charges. after killing her friend. We're just trying to say, Judge, she has already had these tickets for this cruise for a long time. Don't you? No, no, no. And Boehner candidate number 3, a perfect example of creating a hostile work environment, a doctor in Valdosta, Georgia, apparently going off the deep end, threatening to slit her employees' throats, cut their heads off, roll the heads down the hallway, and then call their kids to come and see it.
Well, what
Very
else?
specific.
What else do you expect her to do?
Let's see. Kayla won a Gracie's gift card, and the winner of today's Boehner's Round 1, number 2. But, Your Honor, she already had the tickets.
Good choice, I think.
Yeah.
There's your contender for round 1. Now we got round 2 coming up at 8:20. 3 more Boehner candidates, different ones. And you'll pick a contender in that round. We'll take the 2 contenders and make them duke it out for Boehner fight at 9:20, and that's when you will decide Boehner of the day.
So Gina went on a little excursion, I understand.
Well, so my kids go to the Catholic school, and the Catholic school has a fundraiser every year, and part of the fundraiser is they have a party board.
Party board.
And various parents have parties, and you buy into the party, and then that money goes to the school.
Is that an auction, or they just...
No, we have 20 slots for this party if you want to buy into the party.
They just announce it sometime during the year?
It's just part of their ongoing fundraising. So,
Okay. All right.
So a while ago, we bought into the Fun Bus to Wendover party.
Oh, God. Now, really, like Libus?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Have you ever done that before?
No.
Oh, my God.
So a bunch of Catholic school parents on a bus. So we bought this a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then my brother decided to get married.
Damn him.
and he had a little open house reception at his house on the same day as the Fun Bus. And the Fun Bus was like, we leave at 2 in the afternoon and we drive to Wendover and we stay till, 11 o'clock and then drive back, and it was going to be right in the middle of his... I'm like, well, we got to go to the reception. But I had planned on the Fun Bus.
By the way, I take issue to the fact that they call it the Fun Bus, because I've been on it. It's not.
You've done a bus to Wendover. Yeah.
Yes, Carrie and I have.
Yes.
Together.
That was the last time I've been to Wendover.
No.
I've been there since then.
You've been there since then.
I have not been there since then.
That was like...
Why would you go?
30 years ago.
Exactly. Why would I go?
Yeah, why would he go?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that after. So I was saying to Joe, I'm like, but I really like these parents that we were going with.
Sure.
So
how did you resolve this?
So he said, well, let's go to your brother's reception, and then we'll drive out to Wendover and meet them. So
genius.
So he skipped the bus part of the Fun Bus.
He really is so smart.
Isn't he? Like, really? You don't mind? He's like, yeah, well...
You don't mind? You don't mind skipping the Fun Bus? God.
So
how can I skip the Fun Bus? Would be my question.
How can we do this without? So we drive out to Wendover, and it has been a while since I've been out there. And so we went to the Montego Bay, which is the nice place.
Is it?
Apparently.
Is it pretty nice? I haven't been inside of those casinos since they built the bigger ones.
Like
there.
I said,
I've stopped in Wendover, but that's it.
30 years. It's the last time I was at Wendover.
You're just waiting for the legalized marijuana.
And by saying I've been to Wendover, I've stopped there. For gas and stuff. I haven't gone into.
But yeah, going into the casino.
Yeah, is it nice?
It's nice.
For Wendover?
For Wendover.
Is that the one where they have all the big name performers? I don't think it is.
No.
So maybe that one's nicer.
I don't know.
What's the one, Dylan, that has all the big performers?
Tanya Tucker's
I want to say the
coming out there.
Peppermill,
I
but
saw that.
No.
Tanya Tucker?
Yeah.
She's still around? They're going to wheel her out there?
What? Carrie. Sorry. She started when she was 8.
It's true.
But part of the reason I wanted to go out there was... Because the Derby is this weekend.
The Derby?
The
Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
You want to now? Can you put a bet on the Derby and then go home?
Well, because you can, and then if you win, you got to drive back out there and get it. But if you win a good chunk of money, you drive back out there and get it. So we go to the sports book, So we want to bet on the Derby, and the guy said, "Oh,
we closed it."
No, the final lineup hasn't been. So the Derby, they wait till.
Oh, okay.
And actually, it's tomorrow that they're going to have the final lineup of who's in it.
So you're going back out? You could go on the bus. You could go on the bus.
Like, oh man, I wanted to bet on the Derby, and Joe said, "Well, while we're here at the sports book," he said, "Well, let's bet on the Premier League for this weekend,
The football."
Mm-hmm.
And the cute little guy at the Wendover sports book said, What's that?"
Really?
They don't do that there. Well,
and Joe said, "That's the soccer."
Well, he doesn't know because nobody bets
He
on
works
it.
at the sports book.
Oh no, he's
But they don't have a need for it.
nobody out
there's going to bet on it.
Is going to bet on football.
That doesn't
And so
surprise
he looked
me.
it up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess."
Oh, I guess you can.
Well, good. Your husband is the first person to ask in 20 years. Yeah. So what else did you do?
Did he win?
That's funny.
I think he did because he bet on Arsenal, and I think they won. So
that's my team.
That's your team.
That's
I
what I'm
know.
told is my team. I've never seen them play, but
So what else? Anything else of note?
Just the people that are out. I just was wondering who. And maybe this is an X poll. We do a Wendover X poll.
Yeah.
Because those people don't all live in Wendover. Maybe
No.
a couple of them.
No.
They come from Salt Lake. They come from Ogden. But they're like frequent flyers. They've got the card, and they're. Dylan, are you?
I go to Wendover all the time.
All
so
the
what?
time.
What about people like me?
No, I just.
No, go ahead. What about people like me? Go ahead. 1%er.
No.
You got her.
Too good for the
you got
fun
it.
bus.
Well, everybody's too good for the fun bus.
No, okay, so you go out there, and what do you play when you go out there?
Usually 21 blackjack.
So you play you're
How do
at
you
the
do?
table.
I can play blackjack for a long time without losing my money.
Oh, so you can
But you don't make
maintain,
money.
Right.
but you don't walk away with money.
Not usually. Sometimes I
Okay.
have sometimes, but it lasts a while. So
What did your mom's friend just won again in Las Vegas?
yeah,
I understand.
I know. She has good luck. Like 10 grand.
Yeah, this was
Wow.
This is,
Yeah.
what was her big win of
Like
several years?
300,000.
She won 300,000 several years
So
ago.
Gina,
Playing what?
She plays slots.
She does that on
And
slots.
she wins
Wow.
all the damn time.
Jeez.
well, anyway, I don't want to talk about that. But
Tell me
Gina,
off the air. I'm curious.
The Peppermill Concert Hall is what's out there.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We can go through some of the upcoming.
Who's coming?
Who's coming?
Because
Well,
maybe we'll go back out there and
You got
bet on the Derby.
You got Clearance Clearwater Revisited.
Creedence Clearwater.
Revisited.
So that's all the band without John Fogerty.
REO Speedwagon.
No.
Hi, it's Kevin
You
Cronin.
know, you know who's going to be out there for that though? Crystal.
Yeah.
I think it's REO she likes.
Yeah. Me and Bill's friend Carrot Top is coming.
Listen,
That's a big thing for.
Yeah.
I was so and I talked about it
Yeah.
on the radio. Dylan took me to Carrot Top show in Las Vegas.
He's better than you think.
I was so surprised that it was A, filthy, and B, most of it hilarious.
Travis Tritt.
He's a big country star.
Yeah.
Good Vibration. Celebration of the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
So the
okay.
Beach
Not
Boys
the
aren't
actual Beach
Not the Beach
Boys.
Boys.
Beach Boys cover band.
Mhm.
right. Air Supply.
Is it
They're
the
here.
Air Supply or
Well, it's you know
Some of them
the
live here.
founding members.
Air Supply. They're
lives here.
older gentlemen.
Yes, they
In
are.
this picture, they're older guys.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
they're all out of love.
Yeah. Three Dog Night.
How many of the original members?
Yeah, they're one dog night.
It's
Yeah.
what Negrone.
No, there's four
Phil
older
Negrone?
gentlemen here.
Really?
Was it
Yeah.
Phil Negrone?
Chuck
It was
Negrone.
Chuck Negrone, yeah.
He died though, didn't he?
I thought so.
Ted Nugent.
No,
Hey, we can pass on that.
No.
Hard pass on that.
Gabriel Iglesias.
really, he's a
funny.
big
He's
big
huge.
comedian.
They've had bigger. Is it the
They have
Peppermill?
huge comedians who come out there. Yeah,
That's the
Penn and
one-
Teller. I went out there to
Penn
see
and
Penn and
Teller
Teller.
play,
They
yeah.
really do get great.
And Louis Black has been there. I
I've
know,
seen
and-
him there.
Wow.
And
I guarantee you, the type of people you're going to see in Wendover now versus when this happens,
Yeah, it'll be a different.
it's going to be a
crowd.
different crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Way different crowd. That town is going to change.
Now, did you go to? You didn't go to Lee's?
No, we didn't make it to Lee's.
Ah,
What's wrong?
it's so great.
Yeah, Dylan's been there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's not great is the traffic. Oh, come on. I really do
Really?
have Bill's computer this morning. Here we go. Rollover crash eastbound I-215 at 20th East. 2 left lanes are blocked. Traffic is getting by in the right lane, and it's backed up to Fort Union. And I think we're still having issues westbound I-80 at 13th East. I haven't got a confirmation whether they've opened yet, but there was lots of standing water. They were causing traffic to back all the way up to Foothill Boulevard. Check our message stream. I think somebody like traffic I-215 southbound. It clears up just before exit 22, somebody says. I-215 southbound between Legacy and exit 23. Heavy traffic, stop and go. Average speed 20 to 30 miles an hour. Just be aware that weather is giving you an issue this morning. That's traffic.
All right after these messages, we got a keyword for you to qualify for the Summer of 324 Bands. And then Bill Frost will tell us what's on TV this week. Round 2, your boner voting, and Geek News, all coming up. KXRK Provo.
Hi, I'm Todd Newcomb. If you're...
Radio from Hell on X96.
Before we get to TV with Bill Frost.
Well, it's a summer of 324 bands or thereabouts. We're giving away this. Now, how we do it is we qualify people by giving you tickets to a show that's happening locally here, and then you're entered into the contest where you'll win round-trip airfare and hotel to 3 huge music festivals. Big prize. So here's your qualifying prize. X96 proud to welcome A Perfect Circle to the Maverick Center in West Valley on Saturday, October 20th. Tickets are on sale now at SmithTix and SmithTix.com. Now, normally we have a keyword for this, but somebody forgot to put it in there, so we're just going to take a phone call. Random caller gets those tickets and gets qualified. 877-602-9696.
All right. Thank you.
Here he is, Bill Frost.
Brought to you by Fox 13. They pride themselves on being an independent voice on local issues and appreciate your trust. Fox 13, your #1 station for local news.
Bill is the TV writer for Slug Magazine.
Yeah.
And he also has a podcast called TV Tan.
Yeah.
And he also is in a band called Magna Vega.
Yeah, look for us at Wendover.
Opening for the Nuge.
Yeah, Nuge.
Yeah. And Bill, all of that stuff that is Bill Frost can be found at
BillFrost.tv.
All right. Mr. Frost.
Would you believe Dancing with the Stars Sports Ball Edition starts tonight.
No kidding.
Is it all sports people?
All sports people. I recognize 2 names.
Okay, let's see how we do.
Tanya Harding.
Yes.
Ice skating?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes.
Oh, God, really?
Adam Rippon.
He's a skater.
Heard of him.
Don't know.
He was Olympic skater.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it.
Mirai Negasu.
Oh, yeah. It's table tennis.
You're right. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Madsdger.
Football?
These are mostly Olympic people.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
There's just go right to Johnny Damon.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Norman.
Power lifter.
They're all sports.
Come on, Gina. Power lifter.
The Niffle. And the rest of them are pretty much Olympics, and they have one women's college star in there. But this is a very short edition of. This isn't going to go for 22 weeks.
You know, I would watch a show called Texting with the Stars.
Yes, yes.
But I wouldn't. I don't care about this.
Doing dishes with the stars.
Yeah.
And continuing the sports theme on Wednesday, new HBO series behind the scenes of Being Serena. Serena, the business of being Serena Williams.
Oh, so like follows her around.
Yes.
She's the one who's recently married and had the baby. Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah.
She's going to have it all.
Yeah. Well, there was a
She can have it all.
stunning,
Just like Gina.
stunning picture. Stunning picture of her on, I think it was the New York Times Magazine cover or something. She just looked great.
Yep. So it's about 10 episodes behind the scenes. Of
Oh, really? That
Being
many?
Serena, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Might be interesting.
I'll watch it if it's on.
Well, it'll be on.
If you walk into a room and it's already there.
I'm not going to go after it.
It's like me with American Idol yesterday.
Yeah, you know,
it was on.
If it's on, I'll look at it, sure.
Oh, not even if an American Idol is on.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I looked at it for about 2 minutes and then went, that's enough.
That's enough for me. Also, the 3rd season of Colony on USA, the alien invasion drama.
Okay.
With Sawyer from
Sawyer,
Lost.
yeah.
And Lori from The Walking Dead.
That's still a thing, huh?
Still a thing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Earth is still invaded.
Oh.
And it's still terrible, apparently.
It's still not a place
Lori,
you want to be.
is she the blonde?
No, the brunette, Rick's wife. She died in
the coat hanger.
season 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
The coat hanger.
Yeah, she's still a coat hanger. Fighting off aliens.
No.
Also, coming up on Friday, season 2 of Dear White People on Netflix.
Oh, I enjoyed the first season.
It is back for number 2.
All right.
And also the newest installment of My Next Guest Needs No Introduction from David Letterman.
Yes?
Tina Fey.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Yes.
So I've only watched 2 of those.
I think there's only been 2.
Yeah, there's been President Obama and
Clooney.
No, and Malala.
Has Malala been
There have been
on?
3
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
Yes.
Malala, that's the
Oh,
one. I haven't
Dylan's
watched
saying
Malala, right?
he's mouthing something I can't
Dylan
read.
knows.
Again, you're Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Oh, Jay-Z, that's right.
And Jay-Z.
Okay, so
full
there's been a
4.
few.
Been more than I've been paying attention to.
Yeah.
Come on, TV guy.
Hey, there's too many shows.
There is too many shows.
That's why I haven't, and I don't. Well, I guess I'd be sort of interested in Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to see the Malala one.
On Saturday,
Hmm?
the 2018 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony on HBO.
You can get all your Bon Jovi.
Ugh.
Ugh.
God.
It was a popularity contest. There was voting. They beat out Judas Priest. No way Bon Jovi beats Judas Priest.
No, absolutely not.
And also the Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually showed up and played what's left of them.
It'd be interesting to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, they sounded. I actually seen some clips. It sounded actually very good.
So it's Rick Ocasek and Benjamin Orr.
Benjamin Orr died a long
Ben
time
Orr's
ago.
dead.
Did he?
Yeah.
So who's
Greg Hawkes, the keyboardist.
Oh, yeah,
David Robinson, the drummer,
Mm.
who looks like he should be in the Grateful Dead now. Elliot Easton, the guitarist, and a couple guys from Weezer sitting in.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they sounded good?
Yeah, it sounded very good. Yeah. Dire Straits.
Without Mark Knopfler.
They didn't
so,
play
Or the
or
other
anything.
Knopfler.
Yeah, so not Dire Straits.
Yeah. The Moody Blues. I can think of one Moody Blues.
Knights in White Satin. That's the only one anybody knows.
So what did they play?
That one, I don't know if the Moody Blues played or not. I know Bon Jovi and the Cars did.
Days of Future Past is their
Not everybody
was
plays.
their first album, Moody Blues album,
Yeah.
and the only one that I liked.
The only one I can think of. Also, Nina Simone is being inducted.
She didn't play.
No.
No.
She's with Benjamin Orr.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
She didn't play either.
I don't know who that is.
She a lot of you're a guitar guy, you know, a lot of guitar guys credit her for like inventing rock music kind of thing.
Another person who invented rock
Yeah.
music. Very influential.
This is the Cars song you
No.
pick?
This isn't the Cars.
Oh, No, this it's is the Moody Moody Blues.
I was going to say, you
Wildest
said
Dreams?
you could think of one song, and I'm like, I know we must have at least two in here.
What is this one?
Your Wildest Dreams.
Yeah, I remember this song.
Yeah.
I hate the opening, but it's not bad when it gets going.
Yeah.
No, it's still not good.
And I ran. Oh.
No.
This is obviously from the 80s.
Yeah.
Now you know. Okay, now you know. All right.
And Saturday Night Live, hosted by Donald Glover, with musical guest Childish Gambino.
Which is Donald Glover.
Which is Donald Glover, yes.
I hope that he helps write a lot of the sketches, because he is a damn good writer.
I can't wait to see him introduce himself.
Oh, how do they do that?
Well, I'm
It's
wondering.
happened before.
That's
Usually
right.
they have a cast member do it.
That's right.
I think he should figure out a way to introduce himself.
And then run up there.
Yeah. Here he is. And then run.
And then run
And
on
then
the stage.
That's what I would do.
Yes.
On Sunday, season 2 of I'm Dying Up Here, the drama behind the scenes of the 70s comedy scene. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
No, wait. That's not the Jim Carrey produced one?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's terrible. I tried to watch that. It's awful. Ugh.
I tried to watch a little more, and I didn't hate it that much. But it's also, I'm like, yeah, it's there. It's a thing.
I introduced my son to Jim Carrey as Fire Marshal Bill. I'd forgotten about Fire Marshal Bill, but I introduced, and it was where Jim Carrey on Living Color kind of got started. And I watched, and then I watched some with it. He's so damn good. And, you know, as he does that character, my son is really into makeup and stuff, and he says, you know, he doesn't use much makeup at all.
No,
he,
that's
he
just
does
his
this,
face.
He does this prosthetic teeth that pulls his mouth back, and then he twists his neck in a certain way, and my son is just going, he's a genius. And in a lot of ways, he was.
Oh, yeah.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a reason he was the breakout star of that series.
But that
He's insane.
yeah,
He is now, yeah.
But that damn comedy show he produced, that I'm Dying Up Here, is really bad. Oh.
And yeah, that is your week there.
That's the week?
Do I have to end on that?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Watch Lost in Space.
Yes.
It's fun, isn't it?
Really like
it's
it.
fun. It's, you know, it's like Molly Parker, who plays Mrs. Robinson, Maureen, and then I don't know who the actor is that plays John, her husband.
I've not seen him.
They're
before
they're both very good, and they can. And what's good about them is that they're in these ridiculous situations. I mean, it's just that any other actors, if they weren't good, it would seem silly and stupid. But they pull it off because they're so good and so sincere about it.
Friend of the program letting us know that the accident on I-80 and 13th East has been cleared, and it is stop and go between 20th and 13th. Thank you for that. Huge delays I-215 both northbound and southbound between I-80 West and Legacy Parkway due to construction and rain. And now weather is affecting traffic all over the place. too many little slowdowns to mention. Just know that you're going to need a little extra time this morning. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tire store today. Save up to $150 off a set of 4 Big O brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
All right, round 2.
Round 2 of the boners, and then right after that, Geek News on the radio. Here are your candidates for round 2 of the boners. Number 1, God, people can be so mean. Number 2, good. And number 3, learning time is too hard.
All right, Big Boy News, round 2, your boner voting after these.
I'm Todd Newcomb, and every weekday afternoon at 4:30, I give you a 1-hour nonstop music wingding.
and Gina Barberi on X96.
All right, 8:19. Time now for round 2 of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You got to decide with your vote. Of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one is a contender? Which one do you think could possibly be boner of the day? Because if it wins here, we'll make it face off against the winner of round 1. We'll put those 2 candidates into the Boner Dome. Boner fight happens at 9:20. That's when you will decide boner of the day. So pick a...
Ken?
Sorry, my wiring. I'm one of those Westworld robots and just kind of glitched there for a moment. So pick a contender of these 3 candidates. 2 now, then a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
a can't buy it, got to win it Radio from Hell boner t-shirt courtesy of Excel Automotive Repair, Radio from Hell's official auto mechanics. Don't buy a lemon. Try Excel Automotive's $50 bumper-to-bumper used car checkover before you buy. Limit 2 cars per $50.
Boner candidate number 1. God, people can be so mean. Special Olympics of, it says Beaver County, I think, Pennsylvania? Let's see. Special Olympics event provided a lot of smiles for athletes at Geneva College this past Friday, but some disappointment because prior to the event, organizers told Pittsburgh's Action 4 News thieves stole more than 600 medals and a lot of the sports equipment and paperwork needed for the Special Olympics event in Pennsylvania. The event did go on as planned, but many of the athletes were sent home with no medals. Special Olympics, really? Organizers said they were setting up for the event overnight, and the medals and equipment were taken sometime between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. A police report filed with Beaver Falls Police and organizers. They plan to reorder all of the medals, and they will give them. But that moment of being able to stand on the podium and get your medal, and because some jerks, God, people can be so mean. Boner candidate number 1. Did you have a comment?
Well, I thought maybe the Special Olympics-related boner would be what Trump said this weekend.
Because the Special Olympians went to the White House. Oh, you didn't see that?
Oh, I did not see it, no.
Yeah. He,
I tried to watch some of it. It's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch.
It's tough to watch.
Is that what he said?
Yes.
Yeah, tough to watch.
Makes me uncomfortable. All these people with disabilities make me uncomfortable.
Well, we'll throw that in, too.
Yeah, tough to watch.
No, that would break my rule of no Trump boners. No, because we could just do it every day. We could have all 6 slots. Really? He said that?
Yeah, it's tough to watch.
And he's lying. He didn't watch any of it.
No.
He said, I watched a little. He didn't watch any of it.
No.
It's tough to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's great to watch. Anyway, boner candidate number 2. Good. What is it? What is it with radio guys?
They're awful.
So, the Cleveland Cavaliers, a Cleveland Cavaliers fan celebrated. This all kinds of stuff goes on in Cleveland. I don't know why with
It's
sports
Cleveland.
fans. I guess it's Cleveland. Remember this? He bent down and ate some horse crap, and they were celebrating after the Cavaliers won.
Mm-hmm.
The big mobs in the street,
Yeah.
and we talked about it on. And why did he do that? He said to show how I would,
Yeah, I don't.
how much I love the Cavaliers. Well, another human being, or so-called in Cleveland, is about to eat some horse crap as well. It once again has to do with the city's sports teams. ESPN Cleveland's Aaron Goldhammer, a radio guy, Aaron Goldhammer, told his listening audience for weeks that he would eat horse crap, I guess because of the other guy. He would eat horse crap if the Browns defeated, or drafted Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield. I'll eat horse crap.
How is eating horse crap?
Because he was saying they will never draft Baker Mayfield. They won't do it. They won't do it. I am so convinced that if they do, I'll eat horse poop.
You don't have to actually go through with that.
He's a radio
Even
guy,
if you
Gina.
say that, you
Gina, that's why people don't trust you on the radio. Because if you said you were going to eat horse crap, and then we all know you wouldn't do it. No. If you are a radio person that the public trusts,
you go through with
you
it.
have to go through with it.
That's one of the things they tell you when they hand you the keys to the radio station. Like
There's a code.
There's a code.
There's a radio code.
If you make an outlandish promise on the air,
you have
to do it.
Yeah, but Gina never says she'll do anything.
Right.
Well, that's
I don't want to be held to it.
Yeah. This is just... So he's going to do it, and I say, good! Boehner candidate number 2. Coming up in a moment, Boehner candidate number 3. I don't know. I think learning time is just too hard.
Trump was referring to the Paralympians, not the Special Olympics. All right.
Oh, but still.
Big boy news and innuendo now, brought to you by
Bad Apple introducing low price guarantee on iPhone screen repair. Just bring the advertised price from another business and Bad Apple will beat it. 10 locations along the Wasatch Front. Go to badapplerepair.com.
Researchers are keeping pig brains alive outside of their bodies in a quest for immortality. According to the Daily Mail, your trusted British press.
I love it.
One team of scientists and researchers from Yale University think that they will be able to make humans immortal.
What could go wrong?
Dr. Nothing. Dr. Nidad Seston. Yes, his name is Nanad Seston. And his team of scientists are trying to accomplish the feat by decapitating pigs and then attempting to keep their brains alive away from their bodies. So far, they have been able to keep some of those brains alive for 36 hours.
Well, so that gets you an extra 36 hours. That's not much.
So far,
That's
Gina.
not-
So far. If they manage to find immortality, I'll eat horse poop.
And now that Bill said it on the radio, he has to do it.
If they find that we can be immortal, I'll have to do it. So some of the nearly 200 migrants who arrived in a caravan at the U.S. border this week have now crossed into the United States illegally, apparently.
Now, I don't think they've crossed illegally.
Some of them have.
Because if they're here seeking asylum, then...
On Saturday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection issued a statement saying that in the past 24 hours, several groups of people associated with the Central American caravan, this is according to the Customs and Border people, have illegally entered the U.S. without immigration documents by climbing over a dilapidated scrap metal border fence on either side of the San Ysidro port of entry. In several of these incidents, children as young as 4 years old, and in one case a pregnant woman, were detected entering the United States illegally, they say, through a dark, treacherous canyon that is notorious for human drug trafficking. San Diego Chief Patrol Agent Rodney Scott said of those crossing illegally, quote, "As a father myself, I find it unconscionable that anyone would expose a child to these dangerous conditions."
Well,
you
what
must
are they
ask
running
yourself,
away from? Yeah.
You must ask yourself, sir, why are they doing it?
Exactly.
The agency did not give an estimate of how many people associated with the group have crossed the border or whether any have been apprehended yet. The caravan started, of course, in March near the Guatemala-Mexico border, and it has gained international attention due to President Trump, who's been commenting on it frequently. Trump vowed last week to stop the caravan, while cabinet members said that they would deliver a swift response. The asylum seekers held firm, setting up a possible showdown. What started as a 1,000-strong march, only about 345 were left when the group arrived in Tijuana this weekend. And of that amount, the organizers of the march said only 200 would apply for asylum in the United States. As of Sunday, about 50 were able to present themselves to U.S. border inspectors at the crossing near San Diego. So I guess that's why they're saying some of them are illegally doing it. They haven't gone to the border agents and said, I am here seeking asylum. But you have to do that. So others, the ones they were referring to there, that were just climbing the fences and going into the country.
Wrong.
So, Donald Trump had comments on the White House, the Correspondents' Dinner.
Wrong.
He said it was a total disaster and dead. and that Michelle Wolf was a filthy comedian.
She used the same word that you used.
I was going to say, how are you not hold to a higher standard than a comedian? How is that?
I'm the president.
Yeah, exactly. You should be.
I'm the president. I can say those things.
No, you shouldn't.
Fake news is alive and well, he said, and beautifully represented on Saturday night. Of course, Michelle Wolf has spent much of the weekend defending herself online, but she has refused to back down.
Good.
She has painted herself as a staunch First Amendment defender, and her responses and her rebuttals have been very, very well thought out. I think she's not a dummy, that's for sure. Let's see. In a report that was quietly given to Congress, the federal government is now going to do a massive roundup of wild horses and burros in Utah. Wild horse advocates are condemning the report by the BLM quietly submitted to Congress that calls for massive removal of wild horses from public lands in Utah and 9 other western states. The groups derided the 24-page document as a roadmap for destruction of America's wild, free-roaming horse and burros because it calls for permanent sterilization rather than temporary. You know, what are they going to do? Give them IUDs? Is that, here. Euthanasia and sale without limitation, which is a euphemism for killing them.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they use the meat. They don't just throw them away. They use the meat.
Yeah.
The report lays out several options for reducing the number of horses roaming public lands to populations the BLM has determined to be appropriate management level. You know, it's a problem because, and you maybe know more about this, Gina, than I do because you're a horsey person, but why I think there's problems on both sides of this argument. Of
course there are.
You know, you can't just let these horses continue because they get the herds get bigger and bigger. There are a lot of health problems. The horses have a lot of health problems, and they encroach on people's land.
Yeah. Well, they encroach on BLM land that other people are using.
They
want to
use they want to use to graze.
They want to graze their own. Yeah.
So
there's only so much food out there for.
And Cliven needs more room for his cows and stuff. You know.
But I mean, but it's also, you know, people just want to let the horses roam. And
it's just like controlling any population. Yeah. We feel differently about horses because they're horses, but it's no different than
the deer
population that gets out of control,
or the way the white people in San Juan County want to control the Indian population. You know that.
Harry.
Where did that sound effect come from?
Animal House.
This is the sound the horse makes after they. You know, Flounder shoots the gun in the air, and the horse has a heart attack.
They don't actually shoot him.
Right. All right.
They can't get him out.
I've forgotten that.
Measuring him.
It's funny. It's funny. I knew what it was, but I couldn't remember where it came from. I knew it was a horse falling down. Let's see. Anything else? What do you want to do? One celebrity story?
Sure,
maybe?
A quick one.
Let's see. Oh, this is of interest because I know a lot of people go to Burning Man.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who started it,
Mr. Burning Man,
has died. Mr. Larry Harvey
Burnham is his last name.
Larry Harvey. Now he started this he was just kind of being whimsical. He said, let's take a big statue of a guy to the beach and we'll set it on fire and have a party. He's an artist, and let's do that, okay? And it's grown into this.
Will his body be an
event.
art installation?
You know, it wouldn't surprise me. He died Saturday morning at a hospital in San Francisco, surrounded by his family. Burning Man Project CEO Marion Goodell said the cause of death not immediately known, but he had suffered a stroke earlier this month. His longtime friend Stuart Mangum posted on the organization's website that Harvey didn't believe in any sort of existence after death. So
that's it.
He's gone. Let's take the liberty of contradicting him and keep his memory alive in our hearts, our thoughts, and our actions, Mangum wrote. As he would have wished it, let us always burn the man.
Light it up. All right. weather, traffic, sports, whatever you want to do here?
Well, I just want to remind you about the Jazz playing next Wednesday at 6 p.m. is when that game will be.
Well, you don't have to remind me.
I know you're...
Phew. You know what I'm doing?
What?
I'm going to get on a bandwagon and drive down to the Viv and watch the game.
I don't think it'll be at the Viv.
Oh, where is it?
Is it in Houston?
I think it's in Houston.
Well, then I'll get a fast bandwagon.
What are the odds, really, Gina? I mean, your sports ball.
Oh, Houston's really good. I mean, God bless you, Jazz, but it'll be difficult for them to.
Shut up.
Radio from hell, jumping on the Jazz bandwagon since, well, Game 2 of the playoff series, X96.
We'll ride it with you all the way.
Jazz are going all the way.
All the way?
Jerry Sloan.
No,
the coach.
No, he hasn't been the coach for a long time.
Frank Layden.
No,
Frank
it's Quinn Snyder. Quinn one and Snyder.
Who?
I don't.
Quinn.
Okay.
Carl Malone.
No,
No?
you're not helping.
I had a Carmel Malone the other day. You know, it's funny. My kids love those.
I don't like. They get stuck in my teeth.
They love those Carmel Malones, and they don't have any idea who Carl Malone is.
So the weather and the traffic are two things together today. The rain probably by this evening will have tapered off, but it's much cooler than it has been. 59 for a high. Huge delays I-215 both northbound and southbound between I-80 West and the Legacy Parkway due to construction and rain. Major delays northbound I-215. Use alternates when possible. We've got a crash northbound I-15 at Glover Lane in Davis County. Crash southbound I-15 at 15th South and Woods Cross.
Turn your headlights on.
Turn
everybody.
your headlight. Yeah, congestion northbound I-215 at 700 North in Salt Lake. Crash westbound I-80 at milepost 128. That's the I-215 south belt affecting the left shoulder. And just, lots of little incidents going on this morning due to the weather, so give yourself a little extra time. That's traffic.
All right.
There's Boehner candidate number 3. Learning the time to tell time is just too hard.
What?
Learning to tell time is too hard. As great as it is to be alive in 2018, there are some tremendous downsides to the digital age. People are attempting absurd experiments with... No, never mind. I don't want to read that. The schools in Britain are urging or saying that they want to take all the analog clocks out of their classrooms. We need to take all the analog clocks out of the classrooms because it's too hard for the kids to learn time that way.
How about we
digital
just
clocks? That's what we... No, it's too hard.
It's not that hard if you teach them how, especially if it's just up on the wall all the time. You have lots of opportunities to...
They are used to seeing a digital representation of time on their phone, on their computer. Nearly everything they've got is digital, so youngsters are just exposed to time being given digitally everywhere.
Big Ben is not digital.
Sorry?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's coming.
That's next. They really are saying that. And they also say having the big clock, you know, it was always in the classroom, on the classroom wall. It also is, it puts too much stress on students. It's stressful for them to look at it.
That's crazy.
Really, learning time is too hard. Boehner candidate number 3.
And math is hard.
No.
Science is hard.
Math is digital.
A Black Mirror episode.
And
is
life
waiting
is
to happen.
hard. Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boehner candidate number 1. God, people can be so mean. Medals and ribbons stolen from the Special Olympics in Pennsylvania. Boehner candidate number 2. Good. A Cleveland radio host is going to eat horse poop because he said the Browns would never draft Baker Mayfield. They did draft Baker Mayfield and this guy. And I say, good, eat it. And then Boehner candidate number 3, learning time is too hard.
All right, you got to decide of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to Boehner fight and get that 50-50 chance of becoming Boehner of the day? When it wins here, it'll go up against the winner of round 1. You'll decide Boehner of the day at 9:20. That's when Boehner fight happens. So pick your contender of this round, 1, 2, or 3. Remember the candidate number you think should win. Put it in the message of a text. Then text that to 33986. Call, use your voice to vote. Fastest taking votes in the producer's booth, 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com. Look for the box that says Boehner Voting April 30 and vote there. You've got less than 300 seconds to do it, though, so let's go. It's round 2.
X96 gives you a 1-hour nonstop music wingding with John Smith right after Radio from Hell.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No.
But it forced you to think about me yesterday, even when you didn't want to. I entered your consciousness.
You know, you do anyway because you retweet and things so much, and I'm going to have to block your notifications because 90% of the time when my phone goes bing, that means somebody that I know has either retweeted or made a comment or something. It's 90%. I'm going to turn the notifications for you off because it's you 90% of the time.
Something I thought you would enjoy.
You said no, but here's what it is. You are an over retweeter. You retweet and retweet and retweet.
If I think somebody would enjoy something, I retweet it. You're welcome.
So yesterday, for example, she 4 times.
Yeah, like the Utah Jazz winning the playoff game. Like nobody would know that if you didn't retweet it. It's not necessary. So that's
you tweet the way you tweet, which is not enough, and I will tweet.
You know what?
I tweet.
I tweet a lot. I just make sure that almost none of it's directed toward you.
You don't tweet a lot.
I do too.
Bill, for example, 2 times yesterday. 1 for himself and 1 retweet.
Yeah. I tweet plenty. Listen, I'll go through your tweets if you want. You want to see how many things you do.
On Thursday, he did 5 retweets.
Well, here she is
about
letting everybody know who won the Real Salt Lake game because that's the only way anybody could find out.
That's not the only reason to tweet something. Perhaps I am happy they won, and
You
I am
retweeted
tweeting my support.
You're retweeting it to everybody who already knows.
Not necessarily.
Let's award round 2 of your Boehner voting.
Okay. So, Boehner candidate number 1. God, people can be so mean. Stealing the medals from the Special Olympics. The kids didn't get any medals. They'll get them, but they didn't get the joy of having them presented right there at the.
It's not the same.
No. And Boehner candidate number 2. Good. The stupid radio guy in Cleveland who said, if they draft so-and-so, if the Browns draft so-and-so, I'll eat horse poop. Well, the Browns did draft the guy.
I bet they did it just to spite him.
Hey, let's make that jerk eat horse poop. And then Boehner candidate number 3, learning time is too hard. The teachers, some teachers in Great Britain are saying, let's take all of the analog clocks out of the classrooms. Kids don't need to know that. It's too hard for them. I do remember trying to teach my kids analog time for a while, and it was kind of difficult for them for a while.
Well, let me just ask the teachers this question. Do you allow the kids to use calculators when they're doing their math? I'm guessing the answer is no.
You have to figure it out.
Okay, so if you don't, need an analog clock.
We're already doing enough math.
And then Boehner candidate number 3 was, that was it. Learning is too hard. So Sam won the Boehner T-shirt.
Sam?
And going away, the winner was Boehner candidate number 1.
Really?
God, people could be so mean.
Well, it is a good candidate. It is now, it's got a chance to be Boehner of the day. It's just got to beat candidate number 1, which, as I recall, was a pretty good candidate. Yeah. So Boehner fight. We'll throw them both into the Boehner Dome. That happens at 9:20. That's when you decide Boehner of the day.
Yeah, it is a good candidate.
Geek News on the Radio is always brought to you by our friends at Cabin Fever. Everything from gifts, puzzles, books, playing cards, retro candy, and lunchboxes. Cabin Fever, located in the heart of Charlie Square, 5th South, 7th East. Cabin Fever, so much more than a card store.
All right, brand new episode of GeekShowPodcast.com available now. It's called Symbiote. You'll just have to tune in to find out. We give you a preview of Free Comic Book Day.
When is that?
It is Saturday.
Oh, okay.
It's the first Saturday. I know when I say the first Saturday of May, Gina gets excited and goes Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby.
But the rest of us, Free Comic Book
Or
Day.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, or that.
So you get one free comic?
No, depends on the shop that you go to. I've been to different shops that do Free Comic Book Day every year. And like Dr. Volt's, where I go regularly, they just go, there's a table, be reasonable. And then there was one shop I went to in Southern California where they had them pre-bagged and ready to go for you.
Wow.
So it's...
Okay, but Infinity War.
Yes, Infinity War.
That's good and it's doing well.
It's doing okay.
It's smashed.
It has
records.
It has smashed records, and that's an amazing thing because you see, you gotta try to think of it from my perspective. I'm a 7-year-old kid reading these Avengers comics and saying to myself, "This is the best movie I'll never see."
And here it is.
And I'm one of the few kids reading Avengers comics. And now look at this.
You're supposed to be reading Superman.
I was never a Superman.
He was the more popular at the time, though,
He was popular, yeah. He's always been popular, but the only DC character I really liked was Batman.
Yeah, and I didn't read, as I've said before, I didn't read a lot of comics, but for some reason I read Superman.
But Infinity War kicked off the summer box office in high style, opening to a record-setting $250 million in North America, $380 million overseas, for a global total of $630 million. It hasn't opened in China yet.
Yeah.
It does on May 11th. So it is now the box office winner of opening weekend of all time. It beats, Black Panther. It's just, and it's...
Well, it's going to get bigger because China's always been a good market for them.
And I took 4 kids to see this, Carrie, and I wish you could have been in the car afterward.
I would have loved it.
Because, I take kids to movies all the time, but the debate raging in the car about...
Oh, you should have been reading my DMs and emails and texts all weekend.
These kids are like, no, this is what happened. No, I think it's this. No, but remember that. I mean, they were engaged. And,
even Sue.
Yeah.
After we saw it, even Sue was doing that.
I was kind of the same way with Death of Stalin.
I did it to you this morning when I came into work. It's a movie that because it leaves you hanging so much, it demands conversation.
It's kind of lonely talking about the Death of Stalin to myself.
This is what I'll just, none of these are spoilers, but this is just what I've said repeatedly all weekend to people who have been, needing therapy. This is part 1.
Yeah.
And don't complain to me about how you have to wait a whole year. Because geeks of a certain age, after Empire Strikes Back, we had to wait 3.
Yeah.
I have to wait a whole year for the death of Khrushchev.
If it ever gets made.
What?
I know.
Of course
right?
it will.
Anyway.
It was very entertaining.
It was terrific. And
well, according to some people, saying it was really good is a spoiler.
That's a spoiler?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops,
yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
The accusations of spoilers were a little out of control.
A little?
Yeah.
I don't really want to do any spoilers on the Death of Stalin,
kind
but
of
it's
right
in
there
the title.
It's in the
it's right there in
title.
the name,
It's in the title.
Yeah. There was that. People were all over the New York Times, the failing New York Times review of it.
I read that review, and the headline of the review, I was just going to look it up, it indicated that it was going to be negative. But as you read it, it's not really a negative review.
Well, the line that everyone is focusing on is, this movie just throws these characters at you and doesn't introduce them at all. And you had to have seen all the movies before to know what's... Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
But it was, it's funny. It was not a negative review.
And the comeback that I saw on it was great. It was, I've never seen Breaking Bad, but I watched the last episode. Why should I care about this Jesse? Why should...
Yeah, well.
Anyway, so there you go. I got made fun of in Broken News in this next episode because, the new Venom trailer came out.
We played it.
And we looked at it here, and
willing to sacrifice.
And I made the mistake of saying I thought it looked kind of cool.
Well, it does.
Did they inform you you were wrong?
And Shannon and Jimmy and Jay jumped all over me.
Why?
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
You were geek shamed?
I was geek shamed for saying, well, that looks kind of cool, actually.
Well, it does look cool.
I thought so.
Stand by it, Carrie.
I'm standing by it. We'll see. I mean, it looks like the character, and so we'll go from there. You're getting a new Star Wars animated series called Star Wars Resistance. It will be at the Disney Channel. Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie will return to voice their characters Poe Dameron and Captain Phasma. BB-8 is in it.
Okay.
And it is apparently a prequel, or it takes place between The Force Awakens and... No, it's before The Force Awakens, so it's a prequel. But there you go. And it's all the same people who brought you Clone Wars and Rebels and all those animated series of Star Wars that you all love and enjoy. So it should be a good one. Coming soon. Gina, I'm sorry.
What?
Sorry to break this to you.
What?
Because I told you earlier that, they're working on a Tremors series with Kevin
Bacon, right?
Oh, my kids love that.
Sci-Fi ordered it to pilot.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got Kevin Bacon saying, I'll be in a TV series.
The Kevin Bacon.
And who was the guy who played his part?
Well, I don't know.
Fred Willard.
But
No, Fred.
So Sci-Fi, they said, yeah, we'll buy the pilot. We'll take a look at it and see what we do. They passed.
Aw.
They saw the pilot and they didn't like it.
They passed.
Is Kevin Bacon in the pilot?
Yeah.
It's that bad?
Yeah, I don't know whether it was that bad or too expensive.
Or they're stupid.
But they said, no, we'll pass on that.
Really?
So would anybody pick it up?
I don't know where it goes from here. So there you go. Let's see. I've got a couple of...
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward. A couple of rest in pieces here.
Yeah?
Michael Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. Michael Anderson. Don't know.
He directed Around the World in 80 Days, the original, and Logan's Run. Has died.
Carrie, please.
Oh.
He'll renew.
He'll renew it. Well, I mean, he was 90. He was 98. So he's past the expiration date.
Yeah, his life clock was black.
Yeah.
There's nothing to renew.
That was
the first time we saw Farrah Fawcett.
Yes, in 1976. Yes. Michael York as well. They're trying to reboot it, but they're having problems.
Come on,
You
do
know,
it.
there was a TV series after the movie.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It was really bad.
I'd like someone to.
I
I think someone could do some.
I didn't
good
like
with
the
that.
movie very much either.
Shut up.
I think it could be made well.
But here's a little music trivia regarding Mr. Anderson. He directed a film in 1955 called The Dam Busters. Now, that's significant because if you listen to the album or watch the movie of Pink Floyd, The Wall, that's the war movie that Pink always seems to find on his TV in his motel room.
I know that movie.
Yes.
They're trying to develop a bomb that will go underwater and blow up this dam, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's that. But he directed Logan's Run. But now, more importantly, raise a glass to Bob Dorough.
Yes, it is. It's a magic number.
Oh.
Somewhere in the
It is for me. Because if it wasn't for Schoolhouse Rock, I would not have made it out of grade school. Because my math was that bad.
But you know that 3's a magic number.
But I had the little jingles.
Well, you knew how to read a clock, right?
Yeah, I did. And you know how my earworm works. They saved me, the Schoolhouse Rock. But Bob Dorough is one of the musicians who helped write these songs.
Isn't he the singer?
He is a musician, set the multiplication tables to music. He was the musical director.
Did he do I'm Just a Bill?
He did, let's see, he
I
did.
think he did I'm Just a Bill, didn't he?
He did most of the math. Yeah, he saved my ass. Now, he also did write a song with Miles Davis, but that's, you don't remember him for
that.
This is the important thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Devil May Care with Miles Davis, but this was the more.
It was about algebra.
Yeah. No one remembers that one. You remember this one.
Miles Davis was a fan of math.
Sure he was. He'd tell you jazz is math, probably,
12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27.
There you go. So, Bob Dorough. Throw that in there for you. Rest in peace, Bob. All right. So, you have any? I'm sure you have traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a car spun around westbound I-80 near Mountain Dell. Car's on the right shoulder. But it's right at the curve there, so you're going to need to slow down as you're approaching that. Crash northbound I-15 146 south off to the right shoulder. Standing water southbound I-15 in Ogden around 31st Street. Lane closure northbound I-15 at Glover Lane in Davis County. And let's see, major delays northbound I-215 west. Use an alternate when possible. We've got red cameras all the way through there. Just standing water causing slowing, and give yourself some extra time this morning. That's traffic.
All right. Thank you very much. We will take a break. We will be back with, there's a rumor that there's an author in the building.
I saw Richard Paul Evans wandering
Richard
around.
Paul Evans lurking around?
He is. He's lurking.
He's out there playing with the Keurig. What is... All right. He's going to break it. I just know it. Stand by for that. Also, Boehner Fight is on the way. KXRK Provo.
Oh, we could send you to a couple of bands in concert. Hell, we could even send you to a festival to see a bunch of bands.
But
from Hell on X96.
Well, you'll have to excuse me because I have to use the bathroom.
Here's what Carrie and Bill are doing when they're not on the air in the distant future. The year 2525.
Oh, hello, boys.
Oh, hello there, Chunga. It's about time you showed up.
Sorry. Still got about an hour before airtime, though, boys. Thought maybe I'd change the brine in your pickle vats before we start the show.
Yeah, good idea. Mine's kind of reesty and cloudy. I mean, I can barely see you through the glass.
Yeah, and my liquid isn't conducting the electrical impulses I need to blink my eyes.
You guys are amazing. I don't know of any other guys in radio who could have lost their bodies to disease, had their heads preserved in vats through the miracle of cryogenic science, and still go on with the show. I bow in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, and if I still had an ass, you'd be kissing it right now, buddy.
Hey, come on, leave the kid alone.
All right.
He won't change the brine before we have to go on the air if you keep insulting him. Hey, any word on when our audio animatronic bodies are going to be ready, Chunga?
Well, I called Disney and they apologized for the mix-up with the last bodies they sent you boys. But Bill, I thought you looked pretty cool with your head on Little Mermaid body.
I wasn't any better off with that body than I am as just a disembodied head in a pickle vat. Who could walk on that tail?
Yeah, the Country Bear Jamboree body they sent me was ridiculous. I think Bill and I are going to be much happier when they send the Chip and Dale bodies.
God, ain't technology wonderful?
You said it, brother.
Only here in the year 2525 could two disembodied heads kept alive in pickle vats do a radio show.
And still come out to be about number 15 in the ratings.
Do you guys mind if I wait to change your fluid? I gotta go to the head.
The head. Real funny. What a comedian.
What?
Oh, nothing. Hey, watch out. You're jostling my back.
Out!
Help, pick me up. I'm going to die.
Hey, now maybe I can get a full-time gig on the Radio from Hell show. I knew someday I'd get ahead.
Get ahead. Now that's funny, Chunga.
Funny.
On this day.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
What?
On this day, in 1984, The Cure released their fifth studio album. Their fifth studio album in 1984. The Top was the name of the album, featuring that song, The Caterpillar. Now, keep in mind at that time, Robert Smith was still the official guitarist of Susie and the Banshees while writing that album.
Really?
And helped compose their sixth album, Susie and the Banshees' sixth album, Hyena.
I didn't know
that
he was.
time.
I didn't know he was associated with them.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I remember seeing Susie and the Banshees at Kingsbury Hall, and their bass player was interesting. His name is
Budgie.
Mm-hmm. And he was just fun to watch.
What are you eating?
It's a mint. My mouth feels as though people have been running through the middle of it.
Well, you shouldn't let people in your mouth.
You know that just.
We have a tragedy to report.
I heard that the world's oldest fighter had died.
No, spider.
What?
The world's oldest spider.
You know, you're going to have to enunciate more clearly, because this morning when you said that, you said, "Hey, Bill, the world's oldest spider died," and I thought you said fighter. Yeah, enunciate, okay?
But that is a future coming contest on X96, spider or fighter, coming up.
World's oldest spider. So
Right.
that means, you know what that means.
Well, now there's a new world's oldest.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
And I want the obligatory what added to his longevity. I want to know what he ate and drank in order to.
Let's see if it says here. The long-lived arachnid far outlasted the previous record holder. Now, the world's oldest spider who just died, he was 43. There was a 28-year-old tarantula in Mexico. This guy was a trapdoor spider, a kind of tarantula.
Okay.
You've probably seen them in numerous Disney nature films.
Yep.
You know, where it's Charlie, the lonesome trapdoor spider. Well, Charlie's getting into some big trouble now, isn't he?
Well, he got into trouble because you would think the oldest living spider would. The story would be that he died of old age.
Nope.
No, he was murdered.
Murdered?
By a wasp.
Murdered
Well,
spider.
Is that murder?
Yes.
In the animal kingdom?
He was,
I think.
Well, because the wasp didn't eat him. He didn't, kill him for food. They just killed him to kill him.
Oh, no, I think I don't think it's just kill him to kill him. Let me.
Why would a wasp
But I don't
kill
think
a
it's
spider?
I don't think it's murder either, though.
It's
I mean,
murder.
Your Honor, I would say that my defendant was self-defense.
It
Clearly,
is murder.
Let's see what it says in the Independent, the British press.
You've got to establish motive if it's murder, Jeannie. You can't just go throwing that around.
Well, he slept with his wife.
Murder. His name is number 16, the spider. Number 16. That was a woman.
She
was a
slept with.
She was sleeping around.
Yeah.
She was subdued by a parasitic wasp.
Parasitic. See, murder. Parasitic wasp.
Murder. Parasitic wasp is playing the Warped Tour this year.
He was just being a parasitic wasp. That's what he does. I wouldn't call that murder.
Well, he's sticking up for the wasp.
Murder.
He preyed on a little old lady spider.
She lived a quiet life underground, it says here.
She had a glass of wine every night.
Your
before
Honor,
she went to
clearly
bed.
the prosecution is way out of bounds
never
here. I would
smoked.
say they're ignoring the evidence, the scientific facts in front of them.
She had a sedentary nature and a low metabolism, it says here, which
I'm going to live to be forever.
is because you have a sedentary nature.
Yes.
You know, you should start living underground in a trap door. They build those little trap doors, you know, and they're quite clever. But then they just live there and wait for something to come along, and then they eat it.
I just want to know how you know it's a 43-year-old spider. There's no birth certificate.
Because they started, apparently they started, it was at least 43 years old. It might have been older. But they started studying this little colony of spiders 43 years ago.
They tag it?
No, they just kept, watching that colony. There are several trapdoor spiders around. And she was beautiful, though. She was distinctive.
Now she's dead.
Yeah. Murder. I just want to know who's going to get her stuff.
Yeah.
Her spider stuff?
Yeah.
Does she have a will?
She has these lovely little doilies made out of web. Doilies and things like that, you know.
He is our hero.
Yes, Dylan.
You know what I heard?
What's that?
I heard that the spider had just changed her will and had left the bee everything.
Left the bee? You mean the wasp?
The wasp, everything in the will. Just changed it.
Did this spider live in Cabot Cove?
They just went to a grasshopper and had the will amendment.
I think this speaks to motive.
Get rid of Spider. Step on Spider. Spider. We love you, Spider.
Oh man. Poor number 16.
All right.
Elder spider abuse is what it is.
Okay. We got Boehner fight coming up. Stand by for that. big boy news. Even before that, stand by.
Oh, we could send you to a couple of bands in concert. Hell, we could even send you to a festival to see a bunch of bands.
But X96 is sending one lucky winner to 3 huge music festivals this summer.
That's right. It's the summer of 324 bands.
I didn't do anything this week. I was such a slug this weekend.
Sometimes you need a sluggy weekend.
Good for you.
I didn't think.
Good for you.
How do you turn that off?
Alcohol.
Genius switch. How do you turn that off?
Alcohol. Alcohol.
What kind? What was your alcohol
Just,
of choice this weekend?
Anything I could get. Whatever was handed to me, whatever was handy. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter?
No, didn't matter.
You weren't discriminating
Nope.
about no.
Why?
I'll take some of that, sure.
Is it good wine? It's good enough.
Yeah. I'll have some of that. You bet.
And you were just handed things?
Went out to dinner.
That's the way it should be.
Went out to dinner on Valentine's Day.
You did? You did that going out on Valentine's?
Yeah.
That's brave.
Yep. Had a nice dinner at Copper Onion, and you know, pork belly should be one of the major food groups.
I agree.
It really should be.
What was the pork belly on, or was it?
No,
just,
it was just pork belly.
It was just out there being pork belly.
Pork belly with some cherries and some Brussels sprouts and turnips. You know, just kind of as a little
side
starter,
dish,
a little starter to the evening, and then
nice.
Man,
did you take in your surroundings? Did you look at the other people that chose to go out on Valentine's Day?
I
See
did.
How in love they are.
I
or
did.
Not?
There was. It was. Well, so it was very busy. Copper Onion was very busy. I assume all the restaurants were very busy on Saturday. Did you go out on Saturday?
No.
No. So it was very busy. To the table to our left, 2 guys out on a Valentine's date.
Guys?
And then a table across from us, a guy and 2 girls. And they kept, they were quite annoying. Because the guy kept hanging a spoon on his nose. You know how you do? You take a spoon and
little kid.
Yeah, and you hang it off the edge of your nose, or he would put it across his nose, and then he would insist on one of the girls taking a picture of him. And this kept going on, and then the spoon would slip off, and then he would just laugh uproariously.
Were these 12-year-olds?
And they thought it was funny too.
No one's ever done this before.
And it kind of went on, seemed to go on and on and on and on. And then they had the waiter take a picture of the 3 of them together.
Can you believe this?
It was just.
This has never happened.
And I kept trying to think, now, what kind of a Valentine's date is this?
Threesome date?
I guess. He was,
polygamy date?
Maybe he was paying for them.
That could be.
Could have been
that would explain why they were laughing at the spoon joke.
Yeah, the spoon
were
on
paid.
the nose.
They were
hilarious.
paid.
Hilarious. Spoon on the nose. Yep. Man, this is good. Good stuff. Good stuff. And those were the only... But mostly I was just fixated on my sweetheart sitting across the table from me as we enjoyed a delicious meal.
I'm glad you did.
All right, 9:22. We got Boehner fight coming up in a moment. But before that, a reasonable amount of news.
A reasonable amount of news brought to you by shopping for a home. Save money with a power rate mortgage from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Check out their great rates at ssfcu.org/mortgage. Equal housing lender. Membership eligibility required. Loan subject to credit approval.
The manager for the band Kiss, Don McGee,
Do they
supports the comments of Paul Stanley, who's a member of the band Kiss.
It's the Star Child, please.
Star Child. He's the Star Child.
Both of them say, yes, Kiss can continue without any of the members, the original members of the band. Why not? He says. The topic returned to the spotlight recently after new comments from Stanley amid speculation that their plans for the biggest tour in their history would be branded the end of the road. Is there a next generation Green Hornet, McGee said in the interview? I don't understand what that means.
I don't know either.
Is there a next generation Superman?
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of Supermans.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Look it up.
But he says you can continue Kiss without having any of the guys.
No.
You can.
Sure you can.
Absolutely.
Look at Blue Man Group.
Put some makeup on them and send them out. You could have 10 Kiss bands.
I was made for loving you.
A federal judge.
I always get this one wrong.
It's on Rock and Roll
I
Over.
know. I always get this one wrong.
Hard Luck Woman.
Yes.
It sounds like Rod Stewart a little bit. All right. Both Salt Lake County Mayor Ben McAdams and Salt Lake County Councilwoman Jenny Wilson easily won their nomination races Saturday at the Utah Democratic Party State Convention. So things rolled smoothly. It was not like the Republican convention where there was fighting and fighting and fighting, and they went on for hours and hours and hours. Nope. 72% of the vote for McAdams. He will be the Democrat on the ballot in the November 4th congressional district to run against Mia Love, who faced no opposition from within her party. Wilson won 81% of the vote for the U.S. Senate nomination. So Republicans will decide in June whether Wilson faces Mitt Romney or Mike Kennedy. And there are a lot of very conservative people in the Republican Party who want Mike Kennedy to be the nominee. They don't like the carpetbagger. That's what they say. He was born in Michigan. He was the governor of Massachusetts. And now he thinks he can come here and be a senator from Utah. Well, we don't think so. And they think he's too liberal, Mitt Romney.
Too liberal?
That's the funny part.
Well, he is when compared to Mike Kennedy. He probably is.
Compared to Kennedy, yeah.
So I don't know how people survive this kind of thing. Police are investigating a fight between two men in Ogden. It ended up with one of the men pulling out a gun and shooting the other guy in the stomach twice. 2 bullet wounds to the gut, and the guy is going to survive. Taken to the hospital. He's going to be okay. How is it you can be shot in the stomach twice and end up being okay? I don't get it. A juror in the Bill Cosby case said he sealed his own fate, according to the juror. I didn't read this transcript before today.
That wasn't a transcript, it was a deposition he gave a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's a transcript of a deposition.
Yeah, but he didn't testify.
So the juror said the disgraced comedian's own deposition convinced him he was guilty of sexual assault.
Really?
Well, my God, if you read it, let me go scroll down to where it is. I'll give you just a taste of it. Following exchange between Bill Cosby and Andrea Constand's lawyer. Now, she was the one who brought this to trial and won, essentially. The jury said, yes, he did sexually assault her. Here's Bill Cosby talking to her lawyer in 2005 and 2006. When did you first develop a romantic interest in Andrea?
What, R2?
That's okay.
R2 has something to say about this.
When did you first develop a romantic interest? Probably the first time I saw her. Can you tell me what you recall of the night when you gave the pills to her? Well, she came to the house. You see, she came to the house, and I called her, and we talked about Temple University. We talked about her position. Then I went upstairs, and I got 3 pills. and I brought them down. They
Oh.
are the equivalent of 1.5.
So he just
Yeah. The reason I gave them and offered them to Andrea is she took after examining. She was talking about stress. So you're telling us you verbally asked her for permission? Well, I didn't say it verbally. The action is my hand on her midriff, which is skin. I'm not lifting up any clothing. This is, I don't remember fully what it is, but it's there and I can feel it and I got her skin and it's just above the hand and it's just there where you can go down under the pants.
Wow.
Then what happens? Well, I don't hear her say anything because he's giving her these pills.
yeah.
And I don't feel her say anything, and so I continue and I go into that area that is somewhere between permission and rejection.
Oh.
And I'm not stopped.
It's not my fault she didn't
Well,
say
yeah,
anything.
she was drugged.
What was the thing you did not want to talk about? Well, I don't want to talk about what did you give her. Why? Well, because we're over the telephone here, and I'm not sending.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why don't you ever take Quaaludes? The lawyer says, well, because I've used them for what? You give them to other people? Yeah, I give them to other people all the time.
Because they're stressed.
All right. Well, there he goes. Let's get to it.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
If that was his deposition taken in 2005, why wasn't he immediately arrested?
Why was there a trial?
I don't understand. All right. God. Well, you see. All right, this is the winner of round 1 going against the winner of round 2 of our Boner voting. So in the 7 o'clock hour, about 7:20, we started presenting the first round of Boner candidates. Boner, the one that won. But, Your Honor, she already has the tickets. This is a Georgia teenager who still wants to go on a cruise after facing felony vehicle homicide charges. Her lawyer said, well, Your Honor, this is a family trip, and they bought the cruise tickets a long time ago. She'll come back, I promise. No. Boner candidate number 2 from round 2. God, people can be so mean. Medals were stolen and ribbons were stolen from a Special Olympics ceremony or competition in Pennsylvania. So all of these kids, these Special Olympics kids who won their events, didn't get any medals because somebody stole them. God, people can be so mean. Number 2.
There you go. You've got to decide which one do you think should be Boner of the Day. 1 or 2. Which candidate is the worst? Remember the candidate number? Put it in the message of a text, and text that to 33986. You can call, use your voice to vote, 877-602-9696, or go to x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Fight April 30 and vote there. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. You've got 300 seconds. Let's go. This is Boner of the Day.
Stay tuned for a 1-hour nonstop music wingding right after Radio from Hell on X96. X96.
9:35 right now. Whoa, I am much louder than Carrie.
Hey.
Sorry about
Hey.
that,
Hey.
everybody.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
All right. Hey. Sorry.
It's
9:35.
Who do you think you are? Turn that down.
Well, I'll turn it off. if
Turn
you
down
want.
your music, you damn kids.
I just woke up Salt Lake. Come on.
Well, we're going to talk to Richard Paul Evans here in just 1 second, but first let me tell you.
Brought to you in part by...
Thanks for telling me how to do my job.
Well, I just
I'm
do-
about to do it.
Okay.
Now I'm not going to do it. No, the winner of the Boehner is brought to you in part by pork and asparagus stir fry.
And X96 is proud to welcome actor and comedian David Cross on Wednesday, August 22nd to Kingsbury Hall. Tickets go on sale this Friday, May 4th at kingsburyhall.utah.edu, or you can buy them in advance with a promo code. X96 listeners use the code CROSS, CROSS, to purchase tickets in advance. But we gave away a pair of tickets to a random Boehner voter.
Yes, we did. Zach, as a matter of fact, won those tickets.
Way to go, Zach.
So he had Boehner candidate number 1, but Your Honor, she already has the tickets. That's the girl. She was in a car crash. She was distracted. She was driving too fast. Her friend was in the car with her. Her friend was killed. She's been charged with vehicular homicide. She's facing trial, and her lawyer goes to the judge and said, "Well, you know, they bought these. Her family bought these tickets for a cruise a long time ago, Your Honor. Can she still go on the cruise?" No,
She killed somebody.
She killed somebody in the car. No. And then Boehner candidate number 2. God, people can be so mean. Medals that were intended to be given to the winners at Special Olympics in Pennsylvania. Somebody stole them all. All the medals, all the ribbons, gone. Those poor kids didn't get their prizes. So the winner was a lot of voting and a very close race, but pulling it out in the end, Boehner candidate number 2. God, people could be so mean.
That is the Boehner of the day, the first candidate for Boehner of the week, which we do around this time on Friday.
Yep. So now sliding into the studio, the distinguished, the devilishly handsome with his new goatee, Richard Paul Evans, or as we like to call him, Rick. Hey, Rick.
No, if we call him Rick, nobody knows who he is. He's Richard Paul Evans.
That's why I said Richard Paul Evans.
Even if you just said Richard Evans, I don't know, because it's always Richard Paul Evans.
I think that's great. Did you think about that a lot before you decided? Because when we knew you a long time ago, you were Rick Evans.
Yeah, in fact, the first Christmas box books say Rick Evans.
So do they? But somehow you went to Richard Paul Evans, and that was calculated.
Yeah, serial killers and,
And
general authorities,
yeah.
Mormon general authorities, and authors all have the trinominals, right?
And I was commenting on his new facial hair, his goatee.
Yes.
You look really good with it.
Thank you.
If you want to see him, it's x96.com/live. And this is the first time you've ever grown it.
First time I've sported this, yes. As a compromise, I did the mustache at first. It did look pretty bad. And every time I kissed my wife, it was like kissing a Wookiee. It was like kissing herself.
Mhm.
So I shaved it off, and she was okay with it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Thank you.
Great. So anyway, you're here not to talk about facial hair.
Although, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
To talk about this is now number 2 in the
trilogy.
Yeah, trilogy. This one is called The Forgotten Road. And what's the whole trilogy called?
The Broken Road.
The Broken Road.
The Broken Road, yeah.
Tell people generally what the trilogy is kind of about, and then
This is about it's kind of a stage presenter guy, right? He's made millions duping people from the stage. He
Like a Tony Robbins kind of guy.
No.
No?
Tony's more of an inspirational speaker. It's the guys who are selling packages from the stage, and they make millions, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so he realizes he's lost everything he loved. He's betrayed everyone who's been good to him. And so that's the first book sets it up, The Broken Road. This one, everyone thinks he's dead. He was supposed to be on a flight, flying off to a seminar, and the plane crashes, and he had left his computer in the terminal. So he's now dead, and it's like, what am I going to do with my life now that I have this new life? And he starts walking. He starts walking. He's been having this dream about walking Route 66. The thing is, he wants his wife back. He realizes that the only time he was really happy and the only one who's ever really loved was his wife, Monica.
Was it his ex-wife or
his ex-wife?
Okay.
Who he cheated on, and now he has. It's like, I'm in Chicago. She is in Santa Monica, California, which just happens to be Route 66, and he's been dreaming about Route 66 before this, and it's like, this isn't a coincidence.
Well, I understand that's where you can get your kicks.
On Route 66.
Out on Route 66. So did you drive or walk some of Route 66? or all
Both,
of
yeah, twice. Yeah, it's pretty. You have to get on the road to actually do this. Route 66 is hard to find a little bit.
Some places, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we stopped in. It was in Oklahoma. There's one little, or it's Kansas. There's like 13 miles of Route 66, and most of the people on Route 66 are Europeans. I mean, they're all over. It's like, so I sit there, and there's these two Aussies there, and I'm with a group of Canadians.
They're fascinated by Route 66.
It's all over. There's Route 66 museums in Europe. And so there's all these Germans, and so these guys are sitting there talking, and these Canadians are complaining about how hard it is to find the road.
What's the lure? What is the allure of Route 66?
Boy, that's a good question.
You know?
It's become legendary in Europe because there's the TV show, right? There's the music. There's been so many different versions of that song, and for some reason, it's like, I don't know. It's like maybe us wanting to walk the Great Wall of China, and for people who live there, it's their backyard. It's like it's a wall. But for us, it's like, no, there's something mystical about it.
It's very America.
Yeah. We're talking to Richard Paul Evans about the second book in his trilogy. This one, the Broken Road trilogy. This is the Forgotten Road. So the guy sets out to walk Route 66.
Right. So it starts in Chicago.
And that is where it starts, and it ends in California somewhere.
Santa Monica, right?
In Santa. I've only been on parts of it in Arizona, Winslow, and.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Rich and I were talking about that. It's like I wanted to get to Winslow before it was dark, because I wanted to see the corner, right, where from the Eagle song, and they made a big deal of it. The corner is like there's a
a girl, my lord, in a
the girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, right? Yeah, there's a statue of Glenn Fry, bronze statue right there. It's like you can't miss it. It's all lit up, and it's pretty. People come over and take pictures.
That wasn't there when I was in Winslow, but it was. When I was in Winslow, it looked like somebody had dropped an atomic bomb on the town.
It's tiny.
And there was just nothing. I mean, the stores were all closed up, and it was really depressed at the time I was there.
So, but I have a question for you. So this guy's kind of on a emotional journey. Did you go on some sort of emotional journey following Route 66 of your own? Or were you just doing research? Did you have...
I was just doing research. I've been through my own emotional journeys.
It had nothing to do with Route 66, thank you.
So the first book in the series did well?
Did well.
Yeah. These are different than the Christmas box books. They're more... They're grittier. Would that be fair?
Yeah,
to
I
say?
think it's fair. In fact, I was speaking in prison, and a man came up to me and he said, he's had tats all over and everything, and he goes, "Hey, you may not know it, Mr. Evans, but we have a reading group in here for the Walk series." And they leaned forward and he said, "I'm not afraid to tell you, we shed a few tears." And I thought, we get stacks of mail from prisons around America every single week. It's like, these guys understand loss.
Yeah.
So it means a lot. So, but that series, the Walk series, is huge. I mean, we're approaching 1 million copies just in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's huge, and people wanted me to continue it. It's like, you got to know when a story's done. Someone should have told Sylvester Stallone, "Rocky's done.
Yeah.
Just stop."
Yeah.
And so instead of doing that, I wrote another book about walking because people love the journey. So this is Route 66.
So this is available now, or
comes out tomorrow. Comes out tomorrow everywhere.
The Forgotten Road, Richard Paul Evans, and you doing signings somewhere?
Yes, I'll be doing the Costco's on Saturday. You just look at my website or maybe your website.
Okay.
And then tomorrow I'll be at the Barnes & Noble in Layton at 7 p.m.
And we have a couple of
books to give away?
Should we just give them to
two random callers
right now?
Mother's Day's coming, so if you want to...
Yeah, great gift to give away. 877-602-9696. And maybe if you leave your name, Richard could even sign it to you if you want to do it that way, or to your mom or to whoever you might give it to. So 877-602-9696. They'll take care of that in the producer's booth while we tell people about Diamonds Direct.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that we say goodbye. Richard Paul Evans.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Rick, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Nice to see you again. All right, Diamonds Direct. Yeah, they're having a huge sale at Diamonds Direct. Their prices, they're always unbeatable at Diamonds Direct. But right now, the biggest store-wide sale of the year, bar none, Diamonds Direct's once-a-year spring event. Save an extra 20% and even more on some items, on rings and earrings and pendants and bracelets and colored gemstones. I mean, like everything in the store, virtually everything on sale.
And if you're thinking about Mother's Day shopping, I say take your mother or your wife to Diamonds Direct and let her help pick out her gift.
Now, this is this weekend. It's the 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe, is when the sale is. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. and Sunday, so that's good. Only one catch, 3 days only. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar 3-day store-wide sale, 20% and more off of their already incredibly low prices. You'll be hooked if you go to their store. Diamonds Direct, 6400 South, across from the Fashion Place Mall. On this week's Let's Go Eat Show, I talk with Caridad Savic. She with this hair. Look at this.
I didn't
Look
want.
at it.
I didn't want to comment.
Look at it.
No.
I look like a middle-aged woman.
You're at that awkward phase. You got to get past this one stage, and then you'll be
Who
good.
are you? I'm sorry.
I'm John.
Hi, John Smith.
Do you
John
Smith.
Uh-huh.
Do you put product in it when it's
Well,
wet?
I did. See,
'Cause that'll
okay.
help it not
No,
be...
no. See, no. Here's the deal.
Oh.
It's been growing in. My hair's getting longer, and it's been kind of limp. Hasn't had a lot of body in the front, and it just looks. So I thought, well, I'll try some mousse. That's why it looks like this. I've got mousse in it,
'Cause mousse
and it makes it
puffs it out.
It makes it all.
You need like a gel that can...
No, I don't know. I think the mousse is the answer. I've just got to figure out. I think the mousse is the answer, but I got to figure out exactly how much to put in and where.
You need some pomade.
No.
Don't-
I tried that Georgia peach pomade, and that doesn't work.
Don't quit now. You've gone this far.
Let me offer counterpoint. Quit now while you're ahead.
I'm not ahead. That's the point.
No, I understand. I understand why you've been doing it, and I'm all for it.
Do you?
I am 100% for it.
How is it that you? What do you
But
understand
you have
why
got,
I'm
but
doing
you
it?
have got 4 to 5 months.
No, wait a minute. Stop. What is it that you understand why I'm doing?
You want to get back to the bill of the long hair
no,
and the
no.
Because your wife said she didn't necessarily care.
I'm just curious.
Right.
I'm just curious to see how it will look when it gets as long as it was.
And I think
before
Richie
shave it.
never should have cut his hair.
Right.
No, I think he should have cut his hair.
Hey, this is about me. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's not turn it
Back
to
to Bill,
Richie.
back
This
to
is
Bill.
about me.
I think you have several more months of feeling like how you're feeling right now, and I think that you should cut it and just be okay.
I am determined.
How fast does hair
I'm-
grow?
Well,
It
this
depends.
is how long is it? When did I start doing this? There is no set. You know, everybody's hair is different, and
On average.
everybody's hair will grow only to a certain length. Mine will only get about like it'll be here,
To the
and then it won't
edge
ever
of his
grow.
shoulder, yep.
It won't grow any longer. That's its determined length. Some people can grow down to the floor, but
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. So, but
I'm just weighing in because there may have been a conversation in the producer's booth this morning about your hair.
Well, it looks really weird
Well,
today.
you can get it under control.
I think
doesn't
it
have
looks
to
good
be.
today.
It could have looked good, but it's just missing. It's just missing looking good, and by just missing, it looks horrible. So I have to figure out a way to go to x96.com live, or take a picture of me and we'll post it on social media.
Turn around.
My
I don't
God,
think-
you've got a full set of hair, and you should enjoy it.
Turn around so we can see the back of it.
Yep.
Is that this way?
No, just face the window.
There you go.
Face
Yeah,
this way.
see?
There you
Well,
go.
I can't see
I
it.
think it looks, no.
It looks
up.
good in the back,
Don't give up.
I still maintain.
but it doesn't look good like there.
I think it looks great.
I like you and will love you no matter what you decide, but I want you to know.
That's fine. Make it all about me. Keep going.
I want you to know
Yes.
that my preference for Bill hair is either the really long, which again, you're going to have to get at least 6 months longer to get to that point, and I'm not sure that you have the endurance for that, or
Well, we'll see.
cut it nice and short like you had it, and just nice trim with a little bit of a thick goatee up front.
See, this is what I'm intending to do. Getting it as long as it was, and somebody will have to tell me when that is.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure I'll know, but maybe you can tell me, Gina,
Mhm.
because you always liked it that long. So tell me when it gets that long, and that's the day I'll cut it off.
Yeah.
I'll go, okay,
I'm
great.
there. I'm done.
And
I
then
think
I'll
it
cut
looks
off.
good.
You think it looks good.
No, I do.
But look at your hair.
My hair's awesome.
What do they
See,
call
Bill,
that?
you should
Tight and
cut it.
high?
My hair's
Haven't you had the same haircut for like ever?
No, it's different.
Is it?
Yeah, I know.
No, I had the military cut for a long time, and
But
then
that's
I had the
tight.
mohawk for
That's
a long
pretty
time.
tight.
It's
But
kind of mohawky.
It's kind of a mix between the two. I tried doing the my barber called it the Euro hawk, where it goes all the way down the back.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced that the mohawk is the new mullet. Like that's the one. Like you go to the state fair and you see more mohawks than anything.
Have I ever told you the story of getting a mohawk? When I was like 7 years old, I saw a couple of guys from Ogden High School, and they had mohawks. I think like the football team must have done it or something. And I thought, God, that looks so cool. And I said to my mom, I want to get a mohawk. And this is the traditional mohawk where it's, like you said, it's got a little square in the front and then it tapers down to a point in the back. Yeah, like a traditional mohawk. And I said, God, I really want that. Mom said, no. I kept bugging her. She said, all right, fine. You want it, you're going to be sorry. I'm warning you, you're not going to like it. Took me to the barber, got the mohawk. The very next day, my head got so sunburned. I couldn't, my God, it was awful. I couldn't wait for my hair to grow back in. And then when it was growing in, it was itchy. And,
I've never been able, like, so I'm a kid of the 90s, right? So I was always, like, shaving the sides of the head, you know, and I put, like, the Vanilla Ice steps in the side. So I cannot have hair on the side of my head. It's just,
you hate it.
It drives me nuts.
it actually looks pretty good, I got to say, like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Should we do our promo?
I think we should.
Let me find it here. I have to go to the stack.
Let's ask John what he's doing today. John, what do you got going on the show today?
I don't know. You know what?
Perfect.
Well, I'm gonna find me.
Thanks for being here.
I gotta get a Capri Sun. Is what I gotta get.
Are you gonna get the Octo Cooler? The old
maybe. Well, see, I went to. I had a soccer game on Saturday because I'm the soccer coach for the 4-year-olds, and the one of the moms brought treats. So there were little bags of cheese nibs and Capri Suns. And normally, Coach gets a Capri Sun. I didn't get mine.
I always thought it was Capri-Sun.
Capri-Sun?
A Capri-Sun.
I didn't get my tropical cooler.
Okay.
So I got to get me a Capri-Sun today.
I could also never drink those successfully because I put the straw in and it squirts out all over.
Well, that's because you're an adult.
I don't know how to do it.
Only kids can do it.
Okay, promo.
Let's do it. On Tuesday's Radio from Hell show.
At 6:45, it's an X poll. You been to Wendover? Well, tell us about it. The good, the bad, and everything in between.
Then at 8 a.m., Jonathan will be here for the 3-Bit Gamer Show. He'll stop in and talk about video games and the like.
And at 9 a.m., it's Tuesday Tunes with Todd.
Well, that's all on Tuesday's Radio from Hell show, right here on X96.
Right here?
Right here.
Right here.
96.3. Check it out.
And I don't even know the guy.
No.
You know what I do have today is I've got the summer of 324 bands.
Well, yeah.
You do that keyword at 2?
Yeah.
So listen to John at 2 and everything in between now and then.
Yeah.
Or you could just, check out now and then come back at 2.
I'm good with that.
Sure. Why not?
That's fine.
All right, let's get out of here. My keys have been in the back seat the whole time.
Don't you know who I am?
It's better to not let my wife get hungry.
John Smith is next.
I need a Capri Sun.
A 1-hour nonstop music wingding starts now. Utah's original alternative, X96.